Morning, everyone.
Morning, Judge.
Morning, Judge.
All right. Amy, are you ready?
Yes, sir.
Okay. I will here on a compliance hearing following an order to participate. I showed Ms. Wildman on this case. Ms. Gutierrez, is it your case or hers?
It is Miss Wildman's case, Your Honor, but if I need to cover it, I will. I can pull it up in 2 minutes.
Okay. She's not in my waiting room. I don't know.
Okay, I will text her right now, and
Okay.
if she needs me to, I'll come back and let you know.
All right. Appreciate it.
Judge, while we wait, can I possibly speak with my client very quickly?
Sure. Are you covering for Mr. Barfield, Ms. Gomez?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. Ms. Wildman is with us for the department. Ms. Wiggins is with us representing the children. Ms. Riley is with us representing the father, Mr. Cordier, who is with us. And Ms. Barfield is with us representing the mother, Ms. Cordier, who is with us. That accounts for all the parties. I've got several people in the waiting room. Ms. Wildman, who do you need in for your witness?
Amanda Jones.
Okay. That leaves Carlette Smith and Jeremy Crockett in the waiting room.
Mr. Crockett's on, I think, the next case.
Okay. All right.
Judge, would it be appropriate for all of the attorneys to go into a room really quickly?
Sure.
Thank you.
Judge, I apologize, but now that I know a little bit more about what we got an update from the department, and so now I need to break that room with my client.
Okay, I can't, whoever's speaking, I can't hear you. I hear you talking, but it's so low I can't.
I'm sorry, Judge, it's Tracy Riley, and I got an update from the department, so if I could get a breakout room with Stephen, that would be great.
All right, let's make it quick. We've got all day long, and we start the next one in 10 minutes.
And Brianna, do you need to talk to
Yes.
Jamie as well? Yeah.
Yes.
I'm sorry, Judge, we just got new information.
All right, y'all be quick.
Thank you.
Sam, we're in agreement with the department. I don't know what Tracy's going to come back and say, but we have an agreement.
All right, everybody's back. Where do we stand?
And Your Honor, I think the question at hand is that this case expires on January 25th, and it was kind of a matter of whether or not we were going to do an extension or if we wanted to have a brief hearing and let the case expire. Tracy, did you have an opinion, or did you and your client have an opinion on what you wanted to do?
Yeah, my client is whatever services he'll continue those on his own, and he's great with the department ending. They've made a lot of progress. He's fine with the department ending and closing their case.
And so we can put our caseworker on, Judge, and do a brief kind of update. I don't know if we need to do that before the case would expire, I think on the 25th.
If we're going to let it expire, I mean, I've read the report. I know what the parents have done and what they haven't done. They've substantially complied as far as I can see. So I don't know that we need to take any testimony just to talk about what I've read in the report. If there's any issues that we need to deal with before the 25th, I'll hear evidence on that. Otherwise, we can I'll just order that the parents continue working services till the case expires on the 25th.
Okay. Then I think the department is in agreement with that.
Okay. Ms. Wiggins, are you in agreement?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. And I'm sure Ms. Gomez, you and Ms. Riley are in agreement, correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. Okay, then. As I said, I read the report. I do find that the parents have made substantial progress on the services that were ordered. So I'll order they just try to complete any other services they can before January 25th, at which time the case will expire by operation of law. So, Mr. and Mrs. Cordier, congratulations. As I said, I read the report and I appreciate all you've done. So, all right. I'm sure you'll be glad. I'm sure you both will be glad not to have to see me again. So. We will stand in recess on this case. I'll be back here in about 5 minutes. Ms. Wiggins is with us representing the child. The parents, Leslie Dean and Johnny Lee Francisco, are not with us, nor is their attorney, Daryl Carey. I note they haven't been attending. Well, Ms. Dean did attend the last hearings. This case was set for 9:30. It's now 9:33. We'll proceed in the parents of Mr. Carey's absence. Ms. Gutierrez, who's your witness?
That's Shay Cairns.
Okay. Well, there she is. Okay. We'll get her in.
You said she wasn't there, Your Honor. I was just going to give up.
Well, she was there and then she disappeared for a minute and then she popped right back in. So,
I'm here. I'm just having problems. I'm sorry.
okay. All right, Ms. Gutierrez, then you may proceed.
Thank you, Your Honor. Your Honor, the department requests that the court take judicial notice of the court report filed on December 27th, 2024.
All right. So noted, and I did read that report.
Thank you, Your Honor. And the department calls Shay Cairns as its witness.
All right.
And are there any updates since the court report you filed on December 27th of 2024?
No, I still have not had contact with the parents, and we are going to be, I apologize. We are going to be moving Dax to his aunt's home.
Okay. And has a home study been done on the aunt?
It has been submitted, but it has not came back yet.
Okay. And will St. Francis be waiting until that home study is completed before moving the child?
Unless it's court ordered, yes.
Okay. But we're not asking for that to be court ordered today, correct?
No, ma'am.
Okay. Now, in regards to updates on the child, your court report indicated the child had a condition called amblyopia. Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Can you briefly explain what that condition is?
It's just pretty much lazy eye. It turns in sometimes whenever he looks forward. It's easily corrected with glasses or a patch to strengthen the eye muscles.
And have those glasses been obtained?
They have another appointment this week to see if the glasses are, to get the prescription and all of that.
And what are the current goals in the case?
We just recently changed them to relative fictive kin adoption, followed by unrelated.
And was mother or parent's attorney, Daryl Carey, informed of that as well?
Yes.
Now, regarding Leslie Dean, when was the last time you had communication with her?
October 23rd.
Can you briefly describe your attempts to communicate with her since that time?
I've messaged and called her and tried to locate her through her parents or any Facebook. I really don't have any addresses to go look at except her parents. So I've been every week.
Can you please describe your efforts to locate the father, Mr. Francisco?
I don't have a phone number for him, so I've just basically been trying on social media, reaching out to his family as well. That's really all I have with them. I mean, I know he has criminal court as well, so I've been trying to keep up with that to maybe see him at some point.
Okay. And in regards to visitation, if the parents are no longer communicating with you, are they still having visitation?
No, ma'am.
And the status hearing ordered Mr. Francisco to drug screen within, I believe it was 24 hours of being released from county jail. Did he do that?
I do not believe so.
Okay. Has mom made any services? I'm sorry. What progress has mom made on her services?
She has not made any.
And what progress has Mr. Francisco made on his services?
He has not made any as well.
Are there any additional services that we are asking the court to order today?
Not at this time.
Are we asking the court to order any drug screens today?
If I could get a hold of them, yes.
Okay, so even if you can't get a hold of them, are we asking
Yes.
the court to order drug screens?
Yes, ma'am.
Are we asking for both a hair follicle and a urinalysis on both parents?
Yes, ma'am.
Are we asking for any changes in the visitation orders?
No.
Can you please describe the department's and St. Francis's reasonable efforts to reunify the family?
I have tried to continuously reach out to them and make contact and try to get their visits reestablished so that we can, hopefully get Dax home.
And when you are constantly trying to reach out to them, is that also an effort to connect them back into their services?
Yes, ma'am.
And at this time, the child is placed with family, correct?
Yes, he is.
Okay. Are we asking the court today to go ahead and set an early final hearing in this case,
Yes.
as well as the drug screens? Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
I pass the witness.
All right, thank you. Ms. Cairns, would it be a continuing danger to the physical health and safety of Dax to be returned to either parent today?
Yes, sir.
Would it be contrary to Dax welfare to be returned to either parent today?
Yes, sir.
You mentioned the aunt that you're going to possibly move the child to. Is that a maternal or paternal aunt?
Paternal.
Okay. Is that possibly be a long-term placement?
Yes.
Okay. All right then. Thank
Judge.
you. Yeah.
I did have some questions if you,
Okay. I'm getting there.
oh, sorry.
All right. All right, Ms. Wiggins, questions?
Yes, Ms. Carnes, on the paternal aunt that is looking for placement, she's already an approved caregiver, correct?
Yes, she is.
And she has the child about 50% of the time anyway, is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
And in regards to the aunt, she's well aware of the medical concerns and issues, is that right?
Yes, ma'am.
And she's been very helpful in getting the child medical treatment, is that correct?
Yes.
Would you, let's see, in regards to the mother, have you talked to maternal grandmother about mother being in rehab?
Yes. She feels like she is in rehab, but she says she has no contact as well. So
Okay, so we haven't been able to verify that.
no, I have not.
Okay, I'll pass the witness, Judge.
All right. Anyone have further questions for Ms. Cairns?
No further questions for Ms. Cairns, Your Honor. We do ask that the court set the final hearing in this case early. We do ask that the drug screens be ordered. We are also asking for a finding that the department is making reasonable efforts to reunify, as Ms. Cairns testified in her attempts to locate, her attempts to reestablish visitation, connect the parents with services, and continuing the child in a family placement.
All right, I will make those findings of reasonable efforts. Ms. Gutierrez and Ms. Cairns, are y'all asking that I go ahead and order that the child be placed with this paternal aunt today, or do you want to wait for the home study? If she's already having the child and she's an approved caregiver, I'm happy to make that placement if you want me to.
I'll let Ms. Cairns answer, Your Honor.
Oh, we should have it back this week. So I'll just, that way I can update the grandparents and not,
Okay.
Move them real fast.
All right. Gotcha. Thank you. Okay. Anything else from the department?
No, Your Honor.
All right. Ms. Wiggins, did you have any witnesses?
Do not.
All right. Ms. Wiggins, recommendations.
I would recommend that we move the children quickly, if not almost immediately. The child is having a lot of interactions with paternal aunt. She is going to be the long-term placement, and especially since we are asking for a final to be moved up quicker. She is the long-term placement, and I think that would be appropriate for the child. And she has been instrumental in helping the child get medical attention, and so I think it would just be in the child's best interest.
Okay. What is this paternal aunt's name?
Summer Strickland. Is that right, Sharon? Okay. I'm sorry. Is that right, Shay?
Yes.
Strickland?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay.
And Your Honor, if the court is going to order that change, if we could get maybe a couple of days buffer on that to help the grandparents and the child with that transition.
Sure.
Thank you.
Okay. All right, then let's talk about a final hearing date. We're in the middle of January, so I'd say anytime beginning March, that will give the 45 days notice. I don't have my full calendar in front of me. I do note that we have some hearings set on March 10th. I don't know how busy that day is. Brittany or anyone can tell me how busy does March 10th look like?
I only have your online docket to look at, Your Honor, and it looks like you have just two cases. One is a final, but it's my case, and I can tell you it would be probably a 1 or 2 hour final at the most. And then
Okay.
An initial permanency that would probably be 30 to 45 minutes long. I don't know if any other cases have been added to that docket since then, since I'm only looking at the online one.
Okay. Brittany, if that's not just an overloaded day, we'll go ahead and move it then. Are we good that day?
I am looking, you said March 10th. I'm sorry, I was on the phone, so I was trying to listen when I heard
Yeah.
my name.
Is
We're
March
looking
10th? March 10th, is it? It's not just an overwhelming day, is it?
Okay, yeah, let me pull it up. Sorry, I was dealing with one of your other issues this morning with the calendar, so I've been on the phone. Let me. Not. No, it's not going to be like overwhelmingly busy.
Okay, that's what I needed. Thanks.
Okay, thank you.
All right, then I will continue the department's temporary managing conservator. I will order that the DAX be placed with Summer Strickland. I'm just going to say as soon as possible to give time for what's needed. I won't put a deadline on it, but we'll make that move as soon as everything looks like it's ready for that move. Until then, obviously, I'll continue the child's current placement with the grandmother. And I will order that both parents, both hair strand and UA drug screen by 4 p.m. today at Care Express in Amarillo. All right, as announced, I will set the final for March 10th, 2025. It will be by Zoom like today's hearing, so parties and attorneys can go on the court's online docket a day or two in advance of March 10th to see exactly what time we'll have that hearing. All right, we will stand in recess on this case. I'll be back at 10 o'clock to call another Randall County case. That is department. Ms. Rowland and Ms. Velasquez are with us for CASA. Ms. Wiggins is with us representing the children. The parents, Elena Lancaster and Toby Warren, are not with us, and they're not in the waiting room, nor are their attorneys, Ms. Lucero for Ms. Lancaster and Mr. Pirtle for Mr. Warren. I've had James Saint in the waiting room for some time. He's on our next two cases. I want to just be sure he's not covering for somebody on this case real quick.
Okay.
Who's your, I've got Carlette Smith and Tim Coble.
Tim Coble is my witness.
Okay, so I'll announce that Ms. Lucero's here representing the mother, Ms. Lancaster. Ms. Lucero, Ms. Lancaster's not in the waiting room. Were you expecting her?
Your Honor, I was. I know that she's working. I did email with her, and if she doesn't show up, I have some updates for the court.
Okay, we'll get started here in just a minute.
Okay.
I'm trying to see if Mr. Saint might be covering for Mr. Pirtle, but he is having trouble connecting to the audio.
Okay.
Well, we'll go ahead and get started. If Mr. Saint connects, I'll interrupt and see if he's covering for Mr. Pirtle. This case was set for 10 o'clock. It's now 10:04. We'll proceed in the parent's absence as well as Mr. Pirtle's absence representing Mr. Warren. All right, Ms. Gutierrez, you may proceed.
Thank you, Your Honor. The department requests that the court take judicial notice of the court report filed on January 2nd of 2025.
All right, so noted, and I did read that report.
And the department calls Tim Coble as its witness. Can you tell us what updates you have on Chloe since the filing of the court report?
Nothing really new since the filing of the court report. Chloe continues to do well in her kinship placement.
Okay. Can you give us any updates on Kelsey since the filing of the court report?
Yes, I do have an update on Kelsey. Kelsey, for the past 90 days or so, has been at the emergency shelter of a group home in Lubbock. And she's recently been in the process of transferring to a cottage so she would not be in the emergency shelter anymore. She would be in a cottage there. That move is taking place this week.
Okay, great.
But otherwise, Kelsey is doing very well. She's making good grades, making the honor roll at school at the end of December, and she's doing well.
And is that a significant, I guess, improvement from what she was struggling with when placed at the family home?
Well, she's typically been a good student all along, but there were behaviors that were starting to manifest themselves before she was moved to Lubbock, and she's not been in any trouble since she was moved to Lubbock.
That's fantastic. Now, Chloe and Bud are still with the relative placement, is that correct?
That's correct.
And what are the updates on Bud?
Bud is doing really well. He played indoor soccer, I believe with Kids Inc. in Amarillo several months ago, and they were undefeated till the last game. They did lose the last game, but they were a very successful team, and this was his first year doing that, and he did very well. He's making good grades in school, passing everything, and no behaviors. So Bud's doing well.
Now, regarding the children's therapy, are any of the children in therapy?
They had sort of, well, let me speak to Chloe and Bud first. They had kind of transitioned from regular therapy to as needed therapy. And over the past several months, things have been going so well that they haven't felt like they needed to go to therapy, but it continues to remain an option for them. And all they have to do is, express that they need to go see their counselor, and we would set up an appointment.
And none of the children are on psychotropic medications. Is that correct?
That's correct.
And is Kelsey in therapy?
Kelsey is in therapy.
Now, are there any updates on Elena Lancaster since the filing of the court report?
Elena reportedly continues to work, although she has not provided me with pay stubs or evidence of that. She does have a rental apartment residence. It's a 1-bedroom, so it wouldn't be suitable for the children, but it is a residence of her own. She's the sole occupant, and she has transportation as well. So that's going well. And we did set up a visit with Kelsey the day before Christmas Eve, where Kelsey was transported to Amarillo and I supervised a visit at the residence between Elena and Kelsey. And then Kelsey got to visit with mom and the kids in a sibling visit later on that afternoon. And we did set up visitation that is effective this month, in which Elena can go twice a month to Lubbock and visit with Kelsey in a supervised visit off campus. And then once a month, Kelsey will be transported to Amarillo to join in on the existing visits that mom has with Chloe and Bud.
Okay, great. Now, in regards to Toby Warren, is Toby Warren having any visitation?
Toby is not having any visitation. He was involved in a fairly serious car wreck about 3 weeks ago, but he's on the mend from that. He did state when I talked to him recently that he does expect to go back to Safe P in TDCJ because of drug tests that were positive. And so he may be going away for 4 months as of the end of this month sometime, according to what he told me.
And in regards to mom's visitation, how many hours per week is she getting?
Mom has 2 hours per week. She meets with Bud and Chloe on Tuesday nights for 2 hours. And then the visits with Kelsey are 2 hours when she goes to Lubbock to visit with Kelsey.
Thank you. Your Honor, we next ask the court to take judicial notice of the permanency order from July 22nd of 2024, specifically the provisions for Elena Lancaster to continue family therapy with her children, complete a parenting class focusing on raising teen children, and to complete a psychosocial evaluation.
All right, so noted.
We also ask the court to take judicial notice that Ms. Lancaster was also ordered to resume individual therapy on the condition that it was recommended by her counselor.
All right, so noted.
Thank you. Tim, regarding the court's order for Ms. Lancaster to continue some of those services, can you tell us how she's progressed on them?
As far as the individual counseling goes, the court had ordered that she resume individual counseling as recommended or if recommended by the counselor. The counselor did make that recommendation coming out of that July 22nd last hearing. However, she's only attended one individual counseling. That was on August the 7th. Concerning family counseling, which was ordered, we set up family counseling with Recovery, and she was a no-show to a few sessions, and the counselor sort of put that on pause or canceled the family counseling because Elena was not showing up. And then concerning parenting, I have not been presented with any evidence of her completing a parenting class.
And what about Mr. Warren? Is St. Francis Ministries helping Mr. Warren with any services at this time?
We've set him up with counseling and with parenting classes. However, he has not completed any of his services or begun any of his services.
Are there any additional services that we are asking to be ordered today?
No.
Are we asking the court to order any drug screens?
No, not at this time.
Can you please describe St. Francis's and the department's reasonable efforts to reunify?
We've made visitation possible between both parents and the kids when they are able to, and when there aren't dangers that present an obstacle to do visitation. So we do take steps to make sure that that bond, that parent-child bond, is maintained. And we've given them services that they are to perform that we believe would put them in the best position in order for a potential reunification to occur.
Now, in regards to Toby Warren's visitation, you stated he wasn't having visitation at this time. Was St. Francis allowing visitation to happen? Let me rephrase. Why not? Specifically, why not?
Well, he had a positive drug test before he went away again. That was back in the fall. He was released from his incarceration in late October. I tried to send him to drug test. He did not go drug test. He did tell me later on recently that he was pretty much using again from the point that he got out in late October, and that's why he was avoiding the visitation, or avoiding the drug test rather. And he said that he really did not want to pursue starting up with visitation again with the kids, because he pretty much knew at the point that he was released from his incarceration in late October that he was going to be sent back to Safe P for 4 months. And so to resume visitation for just a short period of time and then for him to go away again for 4 months, was not going to be very beneficial for the children to start and stop like that.
And when he explained that to you, was that conversation about you trying to set up visitation for him?
Yes.
All right, I pass the witness.
All right, thank you. Mr. Coble, you said that none of the children were on psychotropics. The report I read said that Kelsey was on one psychotropic for mood, anger, and depression. Has she been weaned off of that, or is?
Judge, I apologize. That was a very recent addition. She was prescribed that just within the past few weeks.
Okay.
So she is on that one.
All right.
Yes,
And where does the aunt live?
The aunt that Bud and Chloe are placed with?
Yes, sir. Amarillo?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Amarillo.
And then finally, just kind of what's the goal here? It doesn't appear that the parents are doing very much to try and get the kids back. What's the department or St. Francis goal here?
Well, our primary permanency goal continues to be relative conservatorship. The aunt and uncle are doing really well with the kids that are placed with them, and they're actually pursuing with a CPA to get verified. And so we're working on that with them. The concurrent goal for all three children is family reunification. And as the court knows, we did have a reunification in the past that didn't work out. So that continues to be the concurrent one that we're working toward.
All right. Would the end goal to be get all three of the kids together and then consider whether that would be a long-term placement?
I think that's always a good option. There's a lot of children in that home, and there's 4 kids that belong to the aunt and uncle plus these 2, and it was 3. So if we are able to return Kelsey to join in with the other siblings, that's always desirable.
Okay. All right. Thank you. All right, Ms. Lucero, questions?
Yes, Your Honor. Thank you. Mr. Coble, are the family placement that Chloe and Bud are in, are they open to Kelsey returning back to their home?
I do think that is always a possibility. It's not something that the door has been shut on by them.
Okay. All right. And then as far as you're aware that Miss Lancaster has started the 10-part Love and Logic parenting program at Family Support Services on Thursdays?
She has not communicated that to me.
Okay. Were you part of the email chain where we where that was reported? Did you see that come through?
I did see that in the email chain, and that was the first that I'd heard of that.
All right. So are you aware whether or not that Love and Logic parenting program, do you know whether or not does that include the classes that the court had ordered for teenagers? Or have you checked into that?
I would need to follow up on that to see if that curriculum actually addresses teenagers.
Okay.
That is something that we would look for that to include. So I can check on it.
And when you find out about that, would you let me know, please? And as far as the therapeutic visits, or counseling, I should say, Ms. Lancaster did start those. Is that correct? She did attend for a bit?
Are we talking about the family counseling with the
Yes,
kids?
I'm sorry. Yes, the family counseling.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
The first, I think she attended one. I
Okay.
know there was one where she said she had the time wrong and the kids were there and she wasn't. And so after a period of time, the counselor had to cancel the
Well,
appointment because she
But
had not.
isn't it true that she communicated to you? Well, we know that she struggled financially through this case. Since you've been the caseworker, you've known that, it's been tough financially at times for Elena. Would you agree with me?
I would agree with that.
Okay. And sometimes when folks are having problems, maybe it could be their phone gets turned off or they don't have Wi-Fi. You'd agree with me that when folks struggle financially, that happens.
I would agree with that.
Okay. And do you recall that she advised she didn't have a phone for a couple of weeks. She missed the two family counseling sessions, and then at that time, she was unable to communicate with myself or anyone else that she didn't have a phone. Did she let you know that?
She didn't really let me know that. A third party let me know that she didn't have a phone or that her phone
Okay.
number changed.
All
She
right
didn't
then.
advise me of the change of phone number. I had find out from someone else.
And you are aware that she is agreeable, of course, and especially it's court ordered to resume her family counseling with the kids. You are aware of that, correct?
I'm sorry, can you restate that?
Yeah, let me ask, is she in a position, can the department or St. Francis set up to where she can resume her family counseling with the kids?
I can contact the family counselor and see if she is willing to resume. Sometimes
Okay.
they don't want to pursue it if they have to drop a client because of the no-shows. But I can
Okay.
talk to her about it, or we could choose a different provider if the first provider doesn't want to resume.
Okay, then I'd appreciate that. Thank you. So, and you'd agree with me that as far as Miss Lancaster's concerned, there's never been a drug issue, something that has caused concern to the department. Is that correct?
She had one positive test for marijuana in 2024 at a low level.
Okay.
That's the only positive test that she's ever had.
Okay. All right. I'll pass the witness, Your Honor.
All right, thank you. Ms. Wiggins?
Mr. Koval, do we have the cottage information for Kelsey yet?
I think that I just received it.
Okay.
I can certainly provide that to you so that you will know how to contact them.
Okay, great. And we did clear up the information that Kelsey is on a medication for depression. Is that right?
That is correct.
And okay. All right, I'll pass the witness, Judge.
All right. Anyone have further questions for Mr. Coble?
I've got a couple of follow-up, Your Honor.
Right.
Tim, is Kelsey's placement making sure that that psychotropic medication is being reviewed at least every 30 days?
Yes,
And is that being done by a psychiatrist?
it is.
And regarding the goals, you previously testified that the department is making reasonable efforts to reunify the family. Can you please go into detail about the reasonable efforts we're doing to bring into effect that goal of family conservatorship?
As far as the primary goal of conservatorship, we are in touch with the aunt and uncle on a regular basis, as well as the case manager for the CPA that is working with them on getting verified, which will allow them to to have the financial resources to help them as they raise Chloe and Bud. So we're collaborating with them, providing any assistance that they might need to complete the process of being verified, so that that conservatorship could potentially be transferred to the aunt and uncle.
And as Ms. Lucetto had gone through as well, in helping and providing services to Kelsey, is the hope also to reunify her back into the household with the aunt and uncle?
Yes, the hope would always be for sibling groups to remain together. And she is very close to her brother and sister.
I have no further questions for this witness, Your Honor. The department rests, and I have a couple of requests if nobody else wants to question him.
All right. Anyone else? Questions for Mr. Coble?
Your Honor, I had just one more. Mr. Coble, in the prior order, the court had ordered Elena to have a second psychosocial evaluation. Where, when she does that, where is Derek Milam the one that does that, or where does that take place?
A psychosocial is typically the first session of individual counseling, and it's then followed by individual counseling sessions. So Dirk Milam is the current therapist that's assigned to Elena, so he would be able to do a psychosocial.
Okay, but so if she's already had at least one session with him, more than likely, or can you say, do you know if that psychosocial has already been done?
Do not know if it's already been done. I haven't been provided with any information that it was from Dirk.
Okay, all right, I'll follow up. All right, I'll pass the witness, Your Honor. Thank you.
Okay, anyone else?
No, Your Honor, we do have some requests for the court. We ask for a finding that the department is making reasonable efforts to reach that primary goal of family conservatorship, as Mr. Koval testified. We also ask for a finding of reasonable efforts to reunify the family, as well as Mr. Koval testified.
All right, I will make those findings.
Thank
All
you.
right, then, Ms. Lucero, did you have any witnesses?
No witnesses, Your Honor.
All right, Ms. Wiggins, any witnesses?
No, Your Honor.
Ms. Wiggins, recommendations?
I recommend that the children remain in the permanent managing conservatorship of the department. I would ask that the dad's visitation not resume until he is released from safety and gives a negative UA and hair follicle drug screen. Since I believe mom's visitation should remain the same.
Okay. All right, and Casa, anything to add?
Yes, Your Honor. I have a few things I would like to add just to what everybody has spoken to, if I may. So as far as the children being reunified together, they are very bonded. However, Kelsey has expressed that she would like to remain at the placement that she is in, so long as the other two children are with aunt and uncle. So as far as I am aware, she's not wanting to return to aunt and uncle's house. As far as that placement goes as well, I was informed that the placement is open to taking Kelsey back in, but in quote, once mom's rights were terminated, is how I was told.
Okay.
As far as mom's parenting classes go, I've actually attended them with her for my own, I'm a mother as well. So I thought it would be good to a teen as just like Elena. And so if you guys need insight to if this program is geared towards teens, I personally called down the list of all of the organizations that offered classes. And the organizer named Monica Balderas, she explained to me that this course would be fitting towards teens and raising them up through that critical stage. So she is the contact person if you guys would like to reach out to get clarification on that. As of this week, we would be on our 5th class, so we would be halfway done with the program. However, Elena's visitation with Kelsey has been scheduled on the same night as our FSS class is. So she's had to miss one of those. And then the weather last week has also caused us to miss. So we're 2 classes behind currently. But that is more, there is information if you guys would like to reach out to Family Support Services, they can get you all of that information.
Okay.
And as far as placement, I believe the children are good and content where they are for the time being.
All right. Thank you, Ms. Velasquez. Mr. Kobe, you might get with Ms. Velasquez and kind of talk about the program that she was talking about. Just you two can get together and talk about that. So, and I didn't know, Ms. Gutierrez, are you asking me to order that Ms. Lancaster return to the family counseling, or, I mean, I've already ordered it, so she's supposed to be doing it.
She is supposed to be doing it, Your Honor. I believe that order is still in effect. I think St. Francis was just waiting for word from mom, and now we have that through Ms. Lucero here in this hearing that she wants to restart.
All right, thank you. Ms. Lucero, just be sure she's aware that is, as Ms. Gutierrez says, that is a continuing order, so.
Okay, Your Honor, and if I may add, I apologize. That Ms. Velasquez said, I just want to make sure that she's not missing time with Kelsey, having to choose between visiting Kelsey in Lubbock and then going to this parenting class that's court ordered. So I didn't know if the visits could be changed, but I guess we can leave that to St. Francis to take care of.
Well, yeah, that's kind of why I asked for Mr. Coble and Ms. Velasquez to get together and see. Yeah, I mean, I want her to get her services done, but certainly I don't want to punish the kids by stopping the visitation. So we just need to rearrange one or the other, it sounds to me like, so.
Okay, I appreciate it. Thank you.
Uh-huh. All right, then, I will continue the department as permanent managing conservator, continue the parents as possessory conservators. I will order that, Mr. Warren's visitation be suspended until he is released from the Safe P program or whatever program that he may have to do as far as his incarceration, and also suspended as it was previously until he provides, let me go back and see. I'm trying to, let me find it in my notes if I can. I don't know, was it suspended until he provided a hair and UA negative? Does anybody know? I can't find it.
I
Right
don't
now.
think that suspension was there, Your Honor. I think that was a request from the child ad litem, Ms. Wiggins.
All right, okay. All right, so I will suspend his visitation until he's released from incarceration, whatever that's going to be, as well as until he provides a negative hair strand and UA drug screen to St. Francis or the department. Okay, I will set our next hearing, another review hearing for June 30th, 2025. That will be by Zoom like today's hearing, so parties and attorneys can go on the court's online docket a day or two in advance of June 30th to see exactly what time we'll have that hearing. We will be in recess very briefly, and then I'll be back here in just a couple of minutes to call another Randall County case. Wildman is with us for department. Mr. Nowak is with us representing the child. Mr. Saint is with us representing the father, Mr. Crockett, who is with us. Ms. Mullinax is with us representing the mother, Ms. Smith, who is with us. I have a Cassie Webb in the waiting room. Could that possibly be Cynthia Webb, the intervenor?
Judge, that's placement. Cassie.
Oh, okay.
Other placement.
Okay.
I sent them the link yesterday.
All right. Mr. Michelson is with us as guardian ad litem for the father, Mr. Crockett. Ms. Archer is with us as guardian ad litem for the mother, Ms. Smith. That's everybody does anybody intend to call placement? If not, I'll bring her in and let her know she can watch this on YouTube.
Judge, I was just recently appointed, and just out of an abundance of caution, in case I missed something, I asked them to attend in case they had something they wanted to say. I don't have any present intention to call them, and I know the court has a lengthy docket today. So
does anybody object to me letting placement in to listen? If anybody does, I'll just I'll tell her where she can watch it on YouTube.
No, Your Honor, but I think Natalie may have been addressing this. I think she's the ad litem for the dad and Jay's the ad litem for the mom.
Oh, okay. So I got those backwards. Sorry. I'll correct that. All right. If nobody objects, I'll go ahead and let her in so she can at least listen. All right. Everybody is present. Ms. Wildman, you may proceed.
Thank you, Judge. The department would call Cassie Koppick.
Okay.
And where is Daxton currently placed, or what kind of placement is he in?
He's in a foster home in Lubbock.
And does Daxton have any specific medical needs?
Yes, he was diagnosed with failure to thrive, and he has a G-tube, and his foster family has medical training.
And so what sort of medical services is he needing currently?
Well, he has the feeding tube, so he has to have that sometimes. He's in a daycare in Lubbock that's Medicaid funded for special needs kids. He had surgery on the 31st to open up his airway and put tubes in his ears. And last week he had RSV, so he had to go to the hospital. He stayed overnight, and then he was released.
And is the placement equipped to handle all that and has been taking care of those medical needs?
Yes, he also has therapies. He has occupational therapy, physical therapy, speech therapy, feeding therapy.
And to your knowledge, is he up to date in getting all those therapies as needed?
Yes.
Now, let's shift over to the parents in the case. Have they, have service plans been created for them?
Yes.
And how it is, let's start with, is it Carlette Smith?
Carlette, that's the mother.
And how is Carlette progressing in her service plan?
She's been attending individual counseling with Steve Jennings. She's been attending the Padre program with Brianna. One of the things that we asked her to do was the WAVE program, but I guess her caregiver said that she didn't need that.
And what is the department's position on that program?
Well, we asked her to do it, so we would like her to complete it.
And so the department believes she does need to complete that program.
Yes.
And was that part of her service plan that was prepared?
Hello.
Yes.
All right. And so what other services is she required to complete?
Hello. Hello.
Your Honor,
Yes.
someone's trying to speak.
I am. I'm her caregiver.
No, ma'am. You're here just to watch, unless you're called as a witness. I only hear testimony from witnesses. So go ahead, Ms. Wyman.
And so, Ms. Kovic, are there any other services that she's needing to complete at this time?
She has housing. She gets SSI. The only thing from staffing with the supervisor was that they want to try to find a place for her to have where she can have her child placed with her in a home. I've reached out to our disability specialist to try to get to see who I need to talk to try to find out about that process. And then she reached out to TPC because that's the person that handles that program. And they said that they were going to talk to Carletta about signing a release so that they can give us information on that.
So at this point, is anything set up for her to be in a program that would care for her and for the child?
There's
nothing set up yet, correct?
No, it hasn't. My understanding is she has to get like a list of people that would take her and the baby. But I don't really know how to do that process yet. That's why I'm trying to get with the disability specialist to find out that information.
But you are helping as best as you can at this point to potentially facilitate that in the future.
Yes.
All right. And so are there any other services or anything that she needs to be working on or that she is working on?
No.
All right. And so the father, in this case, Jeremy Crockett, what sort of progress has he made on his service plan?
So from my understanding, he was incarcerated until November. It looked like the previous worker didn't have much of a, he hasn't done any services from what I can tell. I don't think that they could get a hold of him. I did try to reach out last week to try to get a hold of him, but the phone number, it said it was not his phone number, the person that replied to me, but I didn't call his caregiver to try to get that set up. So hopefully with him being here at court, I can get a visit with him and his caregiver so we can get his services set up.
And just kind of generally, what sort of services is he required to do?
We asked him to do counseling, parenting, obviously housing, and then a domestic violence support group, or not support group, the BIP, I'm sorry.
And now that he is obviously no longer incarcerated, are those things that you'd be able to facilitate for him?
Yes.
What sort of visitation are both of the parents having with Daxton at this time?
So with the mom, we have it set up for her to have visits starting. She's had visits. I'm not exactly sure as how many visits she's had, but Friday, it'll be from 12 to 2. We're going to arrange transportation so that the mom doesn't have any issues going to the visit. And then we don't have visitation set up for the dad, but we can get that set up when I'm able to meet with him.
Okay. And would you ask that either Mr. Crockett or his attorney, before you leave today, get you his most current contact information?
That'd be great.
And so are there any other services that either parent needs to have ordered at this time?
Not to my knowledge.
Now, do you believe that it would be safe for Daxon to be placed with either parent at this time?
No.
And why not?
Well, due to their having the intellectual disabilities and being in homes that I mean, we don't know all the people in the homes, and it's just safer for him to be where he's at until their parents have finished services and that we can find a placement for the mom or a home for the mom where she can actually have her child there with her.
Are there any concerns about the parents' ability to handle the medical needs?
Yes. I mean, that's kind of why he came into care, medical needs, physical neglect. And he does have medical issues.
And are there any concerns about continued domestic violence?
I don't know about continued. From my understanding, they're not together anymore, but I don't know.
Are there still concerns though about Jeremy and his ability to understand that how to avoid those sorts of disputes?
Yes, I mean, that's why we wanted him to do the BIP program.
Okay. And would it be contrary to the child's best interest at this point to return home?
Yes.
Do you believe that the department is making reasonable efforts to reunify?
Yes.
At this point, is that still the goal, family reunification?
Yes.
And do you believe that the service plans will help with that to accomplish that goal?
Yes.
And do you think setting up the visitation will help with accomplishing that goal?
Yes.
At this point, what's the department's recommendation?
To continue TMC and approve placement, continue the parents to work their services.
I'll pass the witness, Judge.
All right, thank you. Ms. Coppock, do you know what Mr. Crockett was incarcerated for?
No, I don't.
Okay. And would you be sure that Ms. Smith's caregiver understands that the WAVE program was a court order and that she does not get to decide what the mother's supposed to do and not do?
Yes, I'll go over that when I meet with them.
Okay. All right then, Ms. Mullinax, questions?
Thank you. Cassie, have you met with the caregiver and with Carlette?
Not yet. I'm going to meet with them on Wednesday.
All right. So are you aware that it's actually the service provider that said she doesn't qualify for WAVE and not the caregiver?
No, I wasn't aware of that. That's not what I was told.
Have you contacted the WAVE provider to see if she qualifies for that program?
No.
And you said that the child should continue to be in care because you don't know who all the people that are in the households. What steps have you taken to look into the people that live in the households of both of the parties?
I haven't done anything to do that.
Pass the witness.
All right, Mr. Saint.
Thank you, Judge. So I'm confused, Ms. Coppock. When did you take over this case?
The 2nd or 3rd January.
Okay, and who had it before then?
Kimberly Golden, I believe was her name.
Okay. And do you know, has she been out or something during that time?
I don't know. She quit and they transferred her cases. I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know her.
So when you take over a case, does it not have the contact information for the attorney ad litem and guardian ad litem for the parents?
It does.
Okay. But you didn't contact either me or Natalie Archer for dad?
No, I did not. I just contacted the number that I had for the dad.
Okay. Can you send, well, I guess we're having a PC today, aren't we? A permanency conference?
I got a invite for one, but I don't know that it's today.
Okay. I thought I had one for today, but we'll see. Anyway, can you send me your contact information?
Yes.
Okay.
I believe it's next Tuesday.
Okay. And so you haven't even spoken to Jeremy, so you don't know what concerns there would be. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Mr. Saint, I'm having a real hard time hearing you.
I'm sorry, Judge. I'll try to speak up. Is that better?
Yes, it is. Thank you.
Okay. And let's see. What is it that you need to see from Jeremy to place Daxton with him?
Well, he needs to work his services, and from my understanding, we had requested a home study on his caregiver, but they declined us following through with that home study.
Okay, can you get with the caregiver to check on that? Because I don't think that's accurate.
Okay.
Okay, I think that they are very open to doing a home study. Oh, and so there's a lot of fictive kin that have been presented as possible placements. Are you aware of that?
No, I'm not.
Okay. When you speak to, so Jeremy has a caregiver, Miss Webb. Are you aware of that?
Yes.
Okay. When you speak to her, would you ask her about the names of the fictive kin that could possibly be placement as well?
Yes.
Okay. And you're aware Natalie Archer has been appointed as Jeremy's guardian ad litem?
Yes.
Okay. And she'll need your information too. And you can always contact one of us if you can't get a hold of the other, if you can't get a hold of Jeremy. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. And what can we do about starting Jeremy's visits? He hasn't had one since he got out in November.
Well, when I meet with him, I can talk about his schedule and then get a referral sent over.
Okay, great. Do you have a meeting scheduled with him yet?
No, I don't.
Okay. When do you think you'll be reaching out to him?
Let me just interject here. At the conclusion of this hearing, I'm going to put Mr. Crockett and Ms. Kopic and Mr. Crockett's attorneys into a breakout room so they can at least make contact.
Okay. Thank you, Judge. I'll pass the witness.
All right, Ms. Archer.
I think Mr. Saint pretty much covered my my concerns, Judge.
Okay. All right. Thank you. All right, Mr. Michelson.
Thank you, Your Honor. Based on the questions of the court and Ms. Molinex regarding Ms. participation in the WAVE program, I don't have any questions, Your Honor.
Okay. Now let me get this. We've got Webb's kind of running around. Is Cassie Webb? Who is Cassie Webb?
Cassie Webb is placement, Your Honor.
Okay, so Cynthia Webb, the intervenor, I don't see. Is she not with us today?
Judge, she's there with Jeremy Crockett. That she's Jeremy's caregiver.
Oh, okay. All right, Ms. Webb, you're an intervenor, right? You intervened into this lawsuit, correct?
Yes.
All right. Do you have any questions for Ms. Kopic then?
No, I just you said you were going to put us in a room to be able to visit because we've been more than willing to comply. A couple weeks ago, we got a phone call that they were going to come out and visit with Jeremy and investigate, but his the case worker, I guess, was leaving and he was getting a new one, and we were supposed to hear back and never did.
Okay, that's what we're going to do today.
Thank you.
And let me just go ahead and ask you real quickly, since you're caregiver for Mr. Crockett, would you also, am I right, you're caregiver for Mr. Crockett?
I am. I was also caregiver for Daxton for the 7 months that he was in our home.
All right, you probably answered my question then. Would you be open to having placement of Dax back with Mr. Crockett and you?
Yes, absolutely. While we were in the hospital with Daxton, CPS gave me the option of even getting a separate home where Daxton could reside. With my sister-in-law stays with me, and she was also the primary caregiver of Daxton. And we were willing to do that, to get a whole different house where the baby was not with Carlette or Jeremy at all, if that's what needed to be, or just to provide that supervision where the baby was with us primarily, but they, obviously were involved still, but with supervision. And CPS gave us that option. And after 10 minutes of us trying to find a home, they backtracked on it.
All right, I'll take care of that. Miss Kopic, are there any current home studies going?
No.
Okay, all right. That's all I needed to know. All right, then. Let's see. We're down to Mr. Nowak. Questions?
Thank you, Judge. Reading the room, my question might be redundant, but Ms. Kopic, are you actively looking for a closer placement for the child, closer to the parents?
I haven't put in any placement requests. I know with him having medical needs, him being in Lubbock is really good because, other kids with medical needs are being placed down in Houston. But if that's something I need to do, I can request a placement.
And we'll likely discuss this in the breakout room if I'm invited. Judge, that's all I have. Thank you so much.
Okay. All right then. Ms. Wildman, did you have any other witnesses?
No, Your Honor.
All right. Ms. Mullinax, any witnesses?
I have no witnesses, Your Honor. I would just request that if Ms. Smith doesn't qualify for waive, that she be able to do the DV group classes or something else that she would qualify for.
Okay, that's fine. If obviously she didn't qualify, I didn't read that in the report either. So if she didn't qualify, then she can't take it anyway. So I understand that.
Yeah.
So
I think the report says that the caretaker said she didn't need it, but
Yeah.
I don't know that that's accurate.
and that's what I'm saying. If that's the case, she didn't qualify. I only knew what I read too, and that was that the caregiver said she didn't need it. So if she doesn't qualify, she doesn't qualify. So
Yes,
all right, Mr. Saint, any witnesses?
No, Your Honor. I would just let the court know that Mr. Crockett has been wanting to get started on his services since November, and it sounds like there was some issues with the previous caseworker. So we're looking forward to, but since we'll be able to meet with Ms. Coppock today, we can get started.
Okay. I'm sorry, I'm having a hard time hearing you again. All right, Ms. Archer, any witnesses?
No, Judge. In addition to what Mr. Saint said, I would like to request that my client get at least be able to start visitation because he hasn't been able to do those services through no fault of his own.
Okay. So, you can call him if you want to as a witness, but I just want to know what he was incarcerated for.
Your Honor, it was an assault.
On who?
Was it on? I believe it
Judge,
was.
it was on Ms. Smith at the beginning of the case.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right. Thank you. Okay, then, Mr. Michelson, did you have any witnesses?
No witnesses, Your Honor. We rest and close.
All right. Thank you. Mr. Nowak, any witnesses?
I don't think so, but out of caution, I want to ask Cassie Webb if I've missed anything that we talked about, Cassie. You got to turn your camera on and unmute. 5, 4. Going, Judge. No witnesses, just a recommendation whenever the court's ready.
Okay.
Sorry about that. No, I think you covered everything.
All right. Thanks, Cassie, and thank you, Your Honor.
All right, then. All right. If no one else has anything, then I'll start. Mr. Nowak, I'll go ahead and start with you. Recommendation.
Maintain TMC, maintain the placement, encourage parents to work services. And I think it's always good to have the kids as close to the parents as possible. However, I recognize when you have a child with medical needs, that's not always possible. That's my recommendation, Judge. Thank you so much.
Thank you. All right, Mr. Michelson, anything else to recommend on behalf of mother?
No, Your Honor.
All right, Ms. Archer, anything else to recommend on the father?
No, Judge.
Okay. Then give me just a second here. Now, I was just going to put Mr. Crockett in with his 2 attorneys because they have had no contact. Then I've heard about other. Do I need to just put all the lawyers into a breakout room? I've got to go forward with another hearing, but if y'all need to kind of coordinate amongst each other, I'll be happy to put all the lawyers in a breakout room. You can stay as long as you need to.
Judge, we haven't had any trouble talking to our client. It's just getting CPS and our client and the attorneys on the same page. So I think that would be helpful. And I'd like to see Vince Nowak in there too.
I'm just going to put all the attorneys in, and if any of the attorneys reach a point where they think, okay, I'm not needed in here anymore, you're free to drop off. Otherwise, I'll leave that breakout room open as long as y'all need.
Thank you,
Judge. I think I'm on your next hearing.
Okay, all right.
But I can get the contact information from Natalie.
Sure.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Give me just a second here.
Judge, I'm also on your next hearing.
Okay, then.
Notes.
Natalie, if you want to fill me in afterwards, I'll trust your recitation of what happened.
Okay. I'll give you an email.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
All right. Y'all got me on my toes here today. All right, then. I will continue the Department as temporary manager and conservator, continue the Daxton's current placement. I'm going to order home studies on both parents and their respective caregivers, obviously, since that's who they're living with. The parents, I've heard testimony as to both of them. We're not doing home studies on anybody else, so we might as well get started with the parents first. So, all right, our next hearing will be a review hearing on May 12th, 2025. It will be by Zoom like today's hearing, so parties and attorneys can go on the court's online docket a day or two before May 12th to see what time we'll have that hearing. Okay, I'm just going to put all the lawyers except for Mr. Nowak and Mr. Saint in a breakout room. And like I said, if some of you lawyers think I'm not involved in this, feel free to drop off. I'll leave that open as long as I need to. So let me get that set up and then we'll be in recess. Y'all have a good week.
We're here on a permanency hearing. Ms. Wildman is with us for the department. Mr. Nowak is with us representing the child. Mr. Saint is with us. He is the attorney ad litem for the father, Mr. Crockett, who is with us. Ms. Mullinax is with us representing the mother, Ms. Smith. I don't see her in my waiting room. Ms. Mullinax, were you expecting her?
Judge, we actually just sent her the link in the last probably 20 minutes, so it's my fault if she doesn't come.
Okay, well, I'll watch the waiting room.
Okay.
Miss Webb is an intervenor, I guess, or maybe a potential intervenor. She's not in the waiting room. Mr. Michelson is with us. He is guardian.
He's with Mr. Crockett, Judge. Miss
I'm
Webb.
sorry,
Miss Webb is with Mr. Crockett.
I'm sorry, I couldn't hear you. What?
Miss Webb is with Mr. Crockett.
Oh, okay. All right. All right, then Miss Webb is with us as an intervenor. Mr. Michelson is with us. He is guardian ad litem for Miss Smith. Again, she's not with us. Miss Archer's with us. She is guardian ad litem for Mr. Crockett, who again is with us. So that's all the parties with the exception of Miss Smith, the mother. So I will watch the waiting room for her. I have Carlette Smith and a Cassie Kopic in the waiting room.
Carlette Smith is the mother and Cassie Kopic is my caseworker, Judge.
Oh, yeah, Carlette Smith is the mother. Sorry, my fault. And I'll get both of them in. All right, Miss Smith, the mother, has now joined us, so that's all of the parties are present. And Miss Wildman, you may proceed.
Thank you, Judge. The department will call Cassie Kopic. Now, where is Daxton currently placed?
He's placed in a PMN foster home in Richmond, Texas.
And PMN, does that mean that they're equipped to handle his primary medical needs?
Yes.
So what sort of updates do you have for us regarding, I guess, the medical care and therapies that Daxton's undergoing right now?
He's doing really well in the placement. He has switched to doctors down there in Houston. He is getting occupational physical therapy and nutrition therapy, with speech therapy as well. And then he sees a GI doctor down there. He has a primary doctor, a pulmonologist, everything. I mean, they're meeting his medical needs.
Is Daxton still needing a G-tube for nutrition?
Yes.
And is he still needing oxygen at times?
Yes.
And so, is he on, is he on a wait list for any other kind of treatment right now?
No, I don't think so.
If you report.
Okay, so he has a sleep apnea. Is that what you mean?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, yes, he does.
Has that happened or is he still on the waiting list?
I believe it's supposed to happen sometime this month.
Okay. So have you got that scheduled? Is he up to date on dental and all the other medical needs?
Yes.
All right. And so, what sort of, I guess, plans are we looking at for placement that may be closer to home?
Carlette has a relative that is a foster home, and she's spoken with her agency and is wanting to take placement of him. I talked to the agency and they said that we just need to make sure that she's got the training that she needs to have a medically fragile child. And she said that she is looking to be placement around June.
Okay, so she's in the process. Is she going to become a fully licensed primary medical needs placement?
So she's with Arrow, and I guess they're in that T3 model or whatever. So it's like medically complex is the service package that they offer. And Love is the name of the placement, or the aunt or cousin. She's the cousin, sorry. She thinks that she has all the training. Just when I talked with the agency, they said that they needed to make sure that everything was, there.
Okay. So is it currently our, is it currently St. Francis's plan to move him to that relative placement once she's got whatever certification she needs through Arrow?
That's what we want to do. Obviously, we'll have to send it through our placement team and they'll have to do heightened monitoring and all that if that's something that agency requires. But that's what we want to do. And that's what, Carlette and Love want to do, just because to go through the agency, they'll get more support. Because I guess they have a nurse on staff there with Arrow as well. So.
Okay. And so down in Houston, is Daxton getting nursing support there?
Yes.
What kind of nursing support?
He has like nursing hours, so someone comes in and helps.
Okay, and that's something that it sounds like we believe will be able to be continued if he returns to Amarillo once all of the licensing stuff is resolved. Is that fair to say?
So that the doctor prescribes the nursing hours can transfer, but it all depends on the availability from providers and stuff like that. When I was meeting with the nurse, that the Arrow has a nurse on staff that I guess is available to help them if they need help, but he should still have nursing hours. They just have to, I think they're approved every 3 months or so.
Okay. So in the meantime, what sort of visitation is going on between the parents and Daxton?
They're having virtual visits. Both of the parents are weekly.
Do you know how long those are happening for?
They're supposed to be an hour. I know that's difficult with the baby though.
Okay. Now, as far as medical appointments, I mean, roughly how many appointments does Daxton have, let's say, in a month?
Well, usually at least sees the primary doctor once. If he has sick visits, then he has to go for that or specialist. It just depends month to month.
Okay. Does St. Francis think before that the parents would benefit from starting to attend some of these specialist appointments at some point?
Yes, I think that would be beneficial. It just will be hard with, distance and stuff like that, but we do want that to happen.
If he returns to the Amarillo area, will that be easier to help facilitate?
It will be easier to facilitate.
Now, the case is currently set to end, I believe, in August. Is that correct?
Yes.
And I mean, we're not necessarily asking for an extension at this time, but are we going to want to at some point have those visits and the parents' participation in those visits court ordered once he returns to Amarillo?
Yes.
And why do we want them to start attending those visits?
Because he's got a lot of medical needs, and one of the concerns with the parents having intellectual disability is if they would be able to take care of the child. And if they're going to these doctor's appointments, then we can get a better understanding if they're going to be able to comprehend and be able to take care and meet his needs.
And Mr. Crockett and Ms. Smith would be able to get a better understanding of those medical needs, right?
Yes.
Now, what sort of progress is Ms. Smith making on her service plan?
She's finished the parenting class and she's finished counseling. I did refer her to another counselor and she did a few sessions with her, but she didn't really like her. So I was going to refer her to another one. She just moved. She's living with her cousin's sister.
And is that Love, the cousin that we had talked to, is that her sister that she's living with now?
Yes.
Okay. And so has she otherwise been complying with communication and things like that?
Yes. And
so it's fair to say that housing that changed, she's no longer living with Janice Bristow, is that correct?
That's correct.
All right. And at this point, is the cousin that she's living with, is that person confident in her ability to take care of Daxton or meet his medical needs?
I didn't speak with the one that she's living with. I spoke with Love.
And she's not, is it your understanding that as far as Carlette Smith's family is concerned, they're all supporting Daxton moving in with Love once she's approved?
So she wouldn't move in with Love. Love has her own home and she has children in that home. She has a house that she does respite in, and that's where she moved into with her sister.
Okay, gotcha. And so Daxton would live with Love, and then Miss Smith would be living in that other property?
Yes, that would be what we would start out with, and then if depending on how it goes, then
and then Miss Smith would have that support of those two family members as well.
Well, the whole family, because that's what Love was. Got her entire family on board to be able to, and her children to help with medical needs, so that he can be in the family instead of in foster care.
Perfect. All right, and so what sort of progress has Mr. Crockett made on his service plan?
He completed his parenting class. He has started counseling with Corby Grimes. And then the BIP, he had trouble getting a hold of him. And then when he finally did, I guess the service authorization expired. So I did send another one of those over. So he should be able to do the BIP now. So, and they did move to another home.
And that's what I was going to ask. So as far as living situation, what is going on with Mr. Crockett?
They moved to a home in Amarillo. Cynthia had said that it was just going to be the boys live in that home and then she was going to move out, but I don't think that that's happened yet because she's opened her own. I'm sorry, I forgot what they're called, but like what the res care does to take care of like foster homes. I'm not exactly sure what it's called.
Okay. And so is it your understanding that Mr. Crockett is no longer living with Miss Webb?
To my understanding that he is still living with her, but she is going to move to another home. That was my understanding. They moved from Canyon to Amarillo, and then she's going to stay there until she finds another place and then run her group home is my understanding.
But at this point, we don't have any sort of approved home study for Miss Webb or for Mr. Crockett or anything. Is that accurate?
The home study was denied that we did.
Okay. And so are there any other updates on services for Mr. Crockett?
No, he's started everything he's supposed to.
Okay. And at this point, are we requesting psychological evaluations for both parents?
Yes.
Have we were those part of the prior family plan of service?
They weren't.
Is that the only additional service that we're requesting at this time?
Yes.
Once it's possible for them to attend in-person doctor's appointments, at that point, do we want to make that an order of the court as well?
Yes.
As far as efforts to reunify the family, what sort of efforts have we taken to do that?
We've offered them services, and now we're trying to get him moved up into the areas so that we can have visits and stuff in person.
And are we facilitating visits as best we can with him in Houston now?
Yes.
As far as the continuing danger, do you believe there's a continuing danger with placing Daxton back with either of his parents?
Yes.
And why do we believe that?
Because the child is medically needy and the parents, they have intellectual disabilities. The child requires a lot of care that even, some people that he needs to be taken care of by someone that has medical training that can, really meet his needs.
At this time, does either parent live in a place where they'd be able to take care of him?
No, because we have the denied home study with Jeremy's home, and then Carlette. It may be a possibility in the future, but not at this time.
Okay. At this point, do you believe there's a continuing danger to his physical health and safety in returning home?
Yes.
Do you have any other recommendations for the court at this time?
No.
I'll pass the witness, Judge.
All right, thank you, Ms. Mullinex.
Thank you, Your Honor. Cassie, you said that the planned move, if Love can do it and she has all the training, would be sometime in June. Is that correct?
Yes, that's when she said that they would be available.
And I know you said you hadn't talked to the cousin that Carlette lives with at this point, but would it be important for the department to maybe do some checks on that cousin just in case maybe that cousin could supervise some visits in the future?
Yes, she's actually one of the supports that Love has through her agency as well. I just haven't spoken with her.
And so when you say support through the agency, does that mean like the respite care that she's been approved to provide respite care?
Yes.
And so that would be for potentially good for either parent in the future if we could do maybe some supervised by that person. Would you agree?
Yes.
And what other stuff did you say that Carlette needs to engage in other than a psychological? What other stuff that she has already been ordered to do that she has not done?
She's done everything we've asked her to do. She just didn't like the counselor, so I'll get her a different one.
And with regard to that psychological, what's the reason that you're requesting that be added for both parents?
Just so that we can see their level of functioning and any other needs that we might need to add so that they can take care of the baby.
That's the witness.
All right, Mr. Saint.
Thank you, Your Honor. Ms. Caplick, I was going to ask you about the BIP. It sounds like that's gotten straightened out now.
Yes.
Okay. And it's obviously Daxton has a lot of medical issues that you've been working with really hard, correct?
Yes.
Okay. And it sounds like you're working really hard to keep this child with family.
Yes.
And it looks like you think that might be possible with these new people involved.
Yes, I think so.
Okay. And what's the likelihood of us being able to wrap up this case by August?
I'm not sure. Hopefully we can, but if I mean, we can ask for an extension, I guess, if we can't.
But Daxton has a lot of issues that you need to monitor. Is that fair to say?
Yes, he's going to require some ongoing care.
And these family members of Miss Smith, are they willing to? Do you know if they're going to be supportive of Mr. Crockett as well?
I think that they would be supportive. I don't know if they would be willing to supervise visits or anything like that, but because I mean, with the domestic violence situation, and my understanding too is that Jeremy and Carlette can't be around each other, so that would be difficult. But one of them could be virtual and the other could go in person to a doctor visit.
Okay. Obviously, there's limitations there, but within those limitations, you think that they'll do what's best for Daxton and facilitate that as best as they can.
Yes, and once he gets to the area too, we can do supervised visitation through St. Francis. So if that is a problem, it won't. I mean, we can still have visits.
Okay. Now, you were talking about Miss Webb. She's actually starting her own organization to do these type of group homes, correct?
Yes.
So she won't actually have any people living in her place with her once this starts. She'll be overseeing the people who have these group homes.
That's my understanding.
Okay. Now, if she's by herself, I know that you're looking at a lot of options here, but if necessary, if she's by herself, that would address a lot of the concerns in the home study, wouldn't it?
That would, some of them, yes.
Okay. Okay. So she might possibly be a fallback provision if other things fall through that you might be willing to relook at, do a new home study once she's moved and all this has changed.
Possibly.
Okay. Thank you. I'll pass the witness.
All right. Ms. Kovic, who I keep hearing Love. Who is Love?
She is the cousin to Carlette. And
Okay.
I'm sorry, I forgot what her last name was, but she's her cousin that's a foster parent out of Arrow.
And what role is she playing in this right now?
She's willing to take placement of him. And Carlette is now living in her respite home with her sister.
Okay. All right. And I read in your report that Mr. Crockett is complying with his probation. What's he on probation for?
The domestic violence incident with Carlette.
All right. And that's the problem with them not supposed to be around each other?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Okay. Thank you. Ms. Archer, questions?
Yes, Cassie, I know that you resent the order to BIP, but since then, I believe last Wednesday, I called BIP, and of course, they told me they had to speak directly to Jeremy. And she said, when is he available? And I said, this time frame. And then I called Jeremy so he would listen for his phone. And they still didn't connect. So we're having a really hard time setting up that BIP. Is there anything else I can do or Jeremy can do other than just keep calling?
He's just going to have to keep calling because I tried to set up an appointment for him too. And she told me that he had to make his own appointment because if he wasn't capable of making the appointment that he couldn't do the class. And also, I mean, the probation ordered him to do that too. So.
Okay. I appreciate you. Thank you for trying. I think we're doing all we can, but I'll keep encouraging Jeremy. Thank you. I'll pass the witness.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Michelson.
Thank you. Based on Ms. Mullenek's question about the need to necessitate the evaluation, I don't have any further questions.
All right. Mr. Nowak.
No questions, Judge.
All right. Ms. Wildman, anything further from the department?
No, Your Honor.
Does anybody else have any witnesses to call?
No, Your Honor.
All right, then. Mr. Nowak, recommendations?
Yes, sir. Thank you. I've visited with Daxton by Zoom, obviously, and the placement. Given all of his problems, they're doing a great job with him. Some of the high notes, he's not throwing up his meds anymore. Although he has difficulty swallowing, milk seems to be working. I asked them if there's anything else, we can provide to them, and they couldn't think of anything, Judge. I recommend that we maintain or continue TMC with the department and continue placement.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, then, I will continue the department's temporary manager conservator. I will continue Daxton's current placement. I will order psychological evaluations for both parents. I'll go ahead and set the final hearing for July 28th, 2025. That will be by Zoom like today's hearing, so parties can ask their lawyers or go on the court's online docket a day or two before July 28th to see exactly what time we'll have that hearing. We can always, as we've talked about during the hearing today, if there's a need to extend, we can do that at the final hearing. I can turn that into a permanency hearing and sign an order extending the case, which if it's necessary because of Daxton's needs, I'll be happy to do that. So, okay, that will conclude this hearing. I will be back. Wildman is with us for department. Mr. Nowak is with us representing the child as attorney ad litem. Mr. Sain is with us representing the father, Mr. Crockett, who I don't show is with us, and he's not in the waiting room. Ms. Mullinax is with us representing the mother, Ms. Smith, who is with us. Mr. Michelson is with us as guardian ad litem for Ms. Smith. Ms. Archer is with us as guardian ad litem for Mr. Crockett, the father, again, who's not with us. I think that's Cynthia Webb is an intervenor. She is not with us and she's not in the waiting room. So I have Cassie Kopic in the waiting room.
That's the caseworker on this one, Judge.
Okay, I'll get her in.
All right, and so I believe as of your last court report, which was maybe filed a week and a half, 2 weeks ago, the latest update we had was that Daxton was in the process of moving to one of Carlette's family members. Is that correct?
That's correct. We had a PM in staffing, and his scheduled date for moving is the 13th of August to get everything set up.
Perfect. And so there's no hindrance anymore. The primary medical needs stuff is all taken care of, and we're looking good for August 13th, correct?
Correct.
All right. So how's he been doing in his current placement?
He's been doing great.
Do you have any updates on his medical needs?
All of his medical needs are being met. He did have a sleep study, and then he's got another appointment on the 11th. He did have his lungs looked at. So far he's doing good.
Now he still has the G tube, correct?
Correct.
Has there been any updates on, I guess, what the prognosis is and kind of what the long-term plans are for that?
Well, he's still on the feeding tube. They did like a swallow test, and they're going to work with him on like feeding therapy, I guess is what it is from the swallow test.
Okay.
PCI will do that.
Okay. And you said he had an appointment on the 11th. Is that the 11th, August 11th?
Yes, he has another appointment on the 11th.
Okay. Will he be able to still make that appointment with all the changes coming up?
Yes, because he won't be moved until the 13th.
Okay, perfect. And have the soon-to-be kinship placement, who are a licensed foster family, have they come up with a plan on what they're going to do as far as continuity of care?
They plan on using the doctors that he used when he was in Lubbock, so that's what they plan to do. But that was part of the reason why it's taking so long to get it situated for him to come here, because all of the stuff needs to be set up, like the nursing hours and the providers and stuff that they're going to use.
Okay, gotcha. But they do have a plan, and so it seems like where St. Francis is got it so that they'll be able to sort of pick up and we don't have to worry about anything medical, correct?
Correct.
Perfect. All right. He's already doing ECI, correct?
Yes.
What sort of updates do you have on us for the therapies that he's doing there?
He does speech therapy, physical therapy, and occupational therapy. He is walking now, so that's good. And they just, work with him so that he is on target as possible.
All right. Are there any other updates we need on Daxton?
I don't think so.
All right. So let's talk about the parents and the progress that they're making. Let's start with Miss Smith. So since at this point, what services does she still need to complete?
So she's in counseling right now. She did complete her psychological evaluation. So counseling is what she's working on now. We referred her to a new counselor, and they're going to address like her domestic violence and with the child being placed in the area, that will also get some hands-on parenting to see, if she's going to be able to take care of Daxton.
Was that some of the concern that came out of the psychological, whether or not she'd be able to cognitively take care of the child?
Yes.
And so what sort of, I guess, plan does St. Francis have to sort of start seeing what she's able to do and what she's able to understand?
Well, once the child gets placed back up in this area, we want her to, well, we want both parents to, but I know it's not really realistic for both of them to be able to attend since Jeremy and Carlette can't be in the same room. But we want them to go to doctor's appointments and therapies and see if they can learn how to take care of Daxton.
Okay. Now, is the kinship placement, to your understanding, would she have you talked yet about her having at least Carlette in the home at all to try and do some of that hands-on parenting, or are we still a ways out from kind of getting that far into it?
I think once the child's placed there, Carlette lives in one of her other homes. So I think, and she even said that maybe some of the therapies can occur there instead of at her home, so that Carlette can get used to that.
Okay. Now, is therapy really the only other part of the service plan that mom still needs to complete?
Yeah, I mean, she's got housing. She doesn't have employment. She's on SSI, but that's our main concern is her ability to take care of the child.
Okay. Now, let's talk about the progress that Jeremy has been making. So at this point, what services does he still need to complete?
He needs to do his psychological evaluation. He did try to set up the BIP assessment, but they said that he wasn't able to cognitively complete the BIP program, so they didn't let him go to the class. I don't know exactly how to word that, but he did call to get the psychological set up because they sent me paperwork for him to do it, and his caregiver is going to help him get that taken care of.
Okay. Now, as far as employment, Jeremy's been employed in the past, correct?
He has.
And so that remains a part of his service plan?
Well, he gets SSI too. He's currently, he goes to Dayhab, so I mean he doesn't really have to work, but he can work a few hours. I think he can work like 20 hours, and that won't affect his his disability or whatever it's called.
Okay, I understand. Is he still doing individual counseling, or did he complete it?
He completed that, and he completed the parenting.
All right. And so now, as far as I guess as far as Mr. Crockett is concerned, does the department still have some of the same concerns about his cognitive ability and his ability to parent?
Yes.
Does the fact that BIP wouldn't let him take their program because of that concern raise concerns for the department at all?
It does.
Now, once Daxton is up here, are you still hoping to try and engage Mr. Crockett in some of that day-to-day care so that we can see sort of what he's capable of doing?
Yes, and have in-person visits as well.
And that's a good segue into that. So the parents are still only getting virtual visitation right now, right?
Yes, due to the distance.
All right, and so when they get back, they can start doing some of the in-person visits?
Yes, we'll want to put everything back to in-person after it gets back in this area.
Okay. And will that also help sort of get an idea about what they understand, how they can take care of him, and also help sort of build that bond and relationship between the parents and Daxton?
Yes.
Now, are there any services that needed to be added to Miss Smith's service plan or be made an order of the court at this time?
No.
And at this point, we would probably be waiting for Mr. Crockett to do his psychological before we know if he needs any additional services, correct?
Correct.
Do you believe the department is making reasonable efforts to reunify the family?
Yes.
Do you believe that getting Daxton and finding that kinship placement and getting him up here is going to go a long way to trying to reunify them?
Yes.
Do you believe that we're trying to work through these services and helping them get these services set up, that's helping to hopefully reunify them?
Yes.
Now, what are some of the ongoing continuing danger concerns about placing Daxton back with either of his parents?
The main concern is his medical needs and making sure that they're taken care of with, him having the feeding tube and all that. He has to have specialized care.
And at this point, is it still true that I guess there's no approved home study on Mr. Crockett's caregiver, correct?
That home study was denied.
Right, and that's still who Mr. Crockett is living with, correct?
No, he moved to another home, and her sister-in-law Tatum is his caregiver now.
Okay, so he's changed caregivers at this point.
Yes, I guess Cynthia opened up a company or something like that, so she's like the owner, and then Tatum is one of the, I don't know exactly what they call him, but she's the house parent, I guess, of him. So all the people in that home went and are living in a different house with Tatum.
Okay, and so I guess no home study has been done on Tatum or any of the other residents since that change, correct?
That's correct. The change in that too is only Cynthia is not in the home. The rest of the people are all in the home because Tatum was in the home when we did that first.
Okay, gotcha.
And the house is different too, though.
Okay, so there are a lot of changes, even if it doesn't seem like it.
Well, there's some changes.
And so, and Miss Webb is the one who failed the home study, correct?
Yes.
All right, and so is that a concern?
It would be a concern to place with her, yes.
Okay, and so at this point, I mean, is it fair to say that the biggest concern is whether or not the parents are capable of taking care of Daxton?
Yes.
And do you believe that there's a good plan in place to try and figure out what they can do and hopefully help them to do what they need to do to maybe be able to take care of him in their homes?
Yes.
Now explain kind of what the issue is about the contact between the parents.
Well, Jeremy's on probation for domestic violence against Carlette, so they can't be together.
Okay. And does the department, I guess, plan, is there a way that we can work with both of those parents, maybe alternating appointments or having them talk with the providers so that both of them are getting kind of the same information and the same instruction on Daxton's needs?
Yes.
All right. I'll pass the witness, Judge.
All right, thank you. This topic, I think you touched on this, but would it be a continuing danger to the physical health and safety of Daxton to be returned to either parent today?
Yes.
Would it be contrary to Daxton's welfare to be returned to either parent today?
Yes.
And this new placement that's going to take place with Daxton on August 13th, is this kinship, are they trained to care for medically needy children?
Yes, they're actually an Arrow foster home, so they had that training, and then they participated in the medical staffing, and they have nursing staff, but that works at Arrow. So yes, they've got training.
Okay, and that was my next question. Daxton, once this move is made, he'll still have the same nursing care that he has where he's at now?
It'll be a different provider.
But it'll be the same. He'll still have constant nursing care? Okay.
Yes.
All right. The report I read from the department stated that the department wants an extension on this case. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay, I'll get to that with the other lawyers here in a minute. Okay, thank y'all. Let me just ask right now, does anybody object to the extension of the case?
No, Your Honor.
No, Your Honor.
Okay, all right, thank you. All right, then, Ms. Molnax.
Judge, yes,
sorry?
I think you already signed the order on the
I did?
extension, just so you know.
Okay, great.
I think so.
Deal with that. Okay, all right.
And I do have questions. Ms. Kopic, the counseling that Carlette is currently doing, she's actually already finished her counseling. This is just a recommendation for additional counseling from the psychological. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Okay. And so she's done everything she's supposed to be doing at this point in time. Would you agree?
Yes.
And just briefly, am I correct that it took a while to get the home study and things done with Carlette's relative because that relative was taking courses or learning how to help this medically fragile or medically needy child, correct?
Correct.
I pass the witness.
All right, thank you, Mr. Saint.
Thank you, Judge. Excuse me. Ms. Kopic, you said that BIP was unable to complete services with Jeremy because of his cognitive abilities?
Yes.
Okay, so certainly no fault of his own. It's not like he was refusing to go or anything like that.
No, he wasn't refusing to go.
Okay. And so do you have an alternative for him?
Not really. I mean, I guess we could take him back to counseling and he could address that there.
Okay.
But that would be my only suggestion. I guess after we get the psychological back, maybe that'll have some more suggestions on what, or recommendations on what he should do.
Okay, but your understanding is he's just not mentally capable of completing a big BIP course.
Correct.
And so I think you said he's completed everything except the psychological evaluation,
Yes.
and that's being set up, and he'll be expected to do that, and any recommendations that come from it.
Yes.
Okay, is there anything else?
No.
What is the department's thinking on a long-term plan here? Obviously, both of the parents have some issues. So are you looking at possibly PMC with this caregiver?
That really hasn't been discussed with her. I mean, we want to see if we can reunify, and if that's not a possibility, then obviously we'd want to seek out the relative to see if they could be a permanent option.
But reunification is still a goal right now.
It is right now.
Okay, thank you. And it sounds like you've already thought of this, I guess, talking about the issue of the parents not being in the same room together. So are you thinking that they'll take turns going to doctor's appointments and demonstrating their parenting abilities and all that kind of stuff?
And that's what I'm thinking. And maybe one of them could be virtual, one of them could be in person, and alternate so they both could get the same. If that's possible, that would be probably the best. So both of them could hear what was being said.
That sounds like an excellent idea. Thank you very much. I pass the witness.
All right, thank you. Ms. Archer?
I have no questions. I think Mr. Saint covered it.
All right, Mr. Michelson?
No questions, Your Honor.
All right, Mr. Nowak?
Briefly, thank you, Judge, and Ms. Kopic. Always good to see you, and thank you always for your excellent updates. They're really, really good. When I talk to placement, their biggest concern, and I'm not sure where they're getting. First of all, they say that Daxton's doing great. He's walking, he's dancing around, he's accepting his medical care as best he can. But their concern is that there might be a smoker involved at the new placement, cigarette smoker, and their biggest concern was how that would affect his health given his asthma. Do you know anything about that?
So the placement doesn't smoke, but both of the parents do vape.
Okay, and obviously when they have in person, that the vapes will be left out in the car outside the presence of the child, correct?
Correct.
Cassie, thank you so much. Judge, I'll pass the witness.
All right. Anyone have further questions for Ms. Kopic? All right, then, Ms. Wildman, anything further from the department?
No, Your Honor.
Ms. Molnax, anything further?
No, Your Honor.
Mr. Saint?
No, Your Honor.
Ms. Archer?
I have nothing further.
Mr. Michelson?
No, Your Honor.
All right, and Mr. Nowak?
No, sir.
All right, I'll just go down the list. Mr. Nowak, recommendations from you first.
Continue TMC, support new placement the best we possibly can, and obviously, given my question to Ms. Kopic, no smoking around this kiddo. Thank you, Judge.
Uh-huh. All right, then, let's see. Ms. Archer is guardian ad litem for Mr. Crockett. Anything you need to add?
No, nothing to add, Judge. I'm just excited that the baby will be closer so we can give these parents a shot.
Yeah, okay. Mr. Michelson, anything to add?
Nothing to add, Your Honor.
Okay. All right, then. All right, give me just a second here. All right, then, based on what I've heard, I will continue the department as temporary managing conservator. I'll continue Daxton's current placement, and I will approve the placement with the new caregiver on August 13th, 2025. And I will order that no one smoke in Daxton's presence. Okay, since we've already extended this case, I'll set another permanency hearing for November 17th, 2025. That will be by Zoom like today's hearing, so parties can talk to their lawyers, or anyone can go on the court's online docket a day or two before November 17th to see exactly what time of day we'll have that hearing. This is a permanency hearing. Ms. Wildman is with us for the department. Mr. Nowak is with us representing the child. Mr. Saint is with us representing the father. Mr. Crockett, who is with us. Ms. Molnax is with us representing the mother, Ms. Smith, who is with us. Mr. Michelson is with us as guardian ad litem for the mother, Ms. Smith. He is with us. Ms. Archer is with us as guardian ad litem for Mr. Crockett, the father, who is with us. The intervenor, Cynthia Webb, is not with us, and she's not in our waiting room. I have Cassie Kopic and someone under Zoom user. Let's find out who. Is Cassie your worker, Ms. Wildman?
Yes, Judge.
Okay, let's go ahead and get the Zoom user in too to see who that might be. All right, that's everyone. No one in the waiting room other than that person. So, Ms. Wildman, you may proceed.
Thank you, Judge. the department's going to call Cassie Kopic.
Okay.
And how long have you been the permanency specialist on this case?
Since January.
All right. And so Daxton is placed here in Amarillo now, correct?
Yes.
About how long has he been with the kinship placement now?
Mid-August.
And how's he been doing since he's been there?
He's been doing great.
And Love is the kinship placement, correct?
She is. It's actually a foster home though, but it is kinship as well. But it's technically a foster home.
Okay, right. She's licensed. And how has she been able to get him set up with all the specialists he needed here?
The only thing that was lacking was the physical therapy, but they did call her to get that set up. So I don't know if it's been set up since then, but that was the only thing.
All right, so she's on top of it.
Yes.
Perfect. Has there been any major medical updates for Daxton since he's moved here?
He is eating during the day, so he does still have the feeding tube, but he eats during the day. He's supposed to have a swallow study, I believe it's tomorrow, to address that, because I mean, if everything goes well, then they'll be able to remove the feeding tube in the future.
Okay, good. Now Daxton, now that Daxton is back, what sort of visitation have the parents been able to have with him in person?
So Carlette's visits are being supervised by the placement. We did ask her to limit it, not like completely all the time visits. And then Jeremy's visits are twice a week, supervised by St. Francis.
Okay. Now, have the parents had the opportunity to start attending some of the doctor's appointments?
Yes, Carlette's attended quite a few doctor's appointments, and then Jeremy did go to one in Lubbock. And then also Carlette has attended occupational therapy and speech therapy, and Jeremy's also been able to attend speech therapy. The therapist has come to the office for his visits.
Okay. Now, have you had the opportunity yet to observe the parents with Daxton?
Yes.
And how have they been doing during these visits?
They've been doing well during the visits. Go
ahead.
There's been nothing reported to me either during visitation.
Yeah. Have you talked to them at all to see what sort of understanding they have of Daxton's needs?
Yes, I have.
And do they seem to understand what's being told to them?
They do seem to be understanding of what is told to them.
Okay. And have they been able to participate in some of the therapies that have been going on and some of the medical appointments?
Yes.
All right. And so, are those appointments, I guess, are they alternating appointments so that they're both getting to see different specialists, or how is that being taken care of?
Well, Carlette's been to more than Jeremy. Jeremy's only been to the one, but the placement is giving us the information so that we can make arrangements for Jeremy to attend when he's able to.
All right. And so, I guess at this point, what sort of living situation does Miss Smith have?
She lives with her, she lives in I guess it's a foster home, a care home, but it's it's in the respite provider's home for the placement. So with her relative.
Okay. And what sort of living situation does Mr. Crockett have now?
He also lives in a group home, and it's a different caregiver, but it's the same people in the home, except for the caregiver's different.
Okay. And so the caregiver, or I guess the caregiver has changed, but the residents that were covered in the initial home study, are they all substantially the same?
Yes.
All right. And so long term, is the department's intention still to family reunification, or is Love willing to be a long-term placement and continue working with the parents?
She has expressed the ability to help continue to care for Daxton. I think that's a lot of our concern too, is with the parents having intellectual disabilities, for the child to be fully reliant on them.
Okay. So far, has all of the medical care that the parents have been given or been involved in, has that been supervised by placement?
Yes.
Are there other people in the home as well helping with that?
What?
does Daxton have like nursing care as well?
Yes.
Okay. And so does the department still have concerns about their ability to take care of Daxton in an unsupervised situation?
Yes.
Now, otherwise, I guess, have they been compliant with the department as far as services?
Yes.
And are they, I guess, continuing to show a willingness to attend these visits?
Yes.
Are there concerns at all about some of the people in the home where Mr. Crockett resides?
Yes. I mean, that was a home of removal. So his caregiver was actually in that home, and then the other clients were in that home when the child was taken initially.
And did that home study raise some concerns about some of the other residents of the home that Mr. Crockett lives with?
Yes.
Now, as far as Miss Smith, do we still have concerns that she's able to take care of and meet all of Daxton's needs on her own?
Yes.
Is that the primary continuing danger that continues as far as Miss Smith is concerned?
Yes.
Now, do you believe it would be against the physical health and safety of Daxton to be reunified with either of the parents at this time?
Yes.
Do you believe that the department is making reasonable efforts to try and get them to fully understand his medical needs so that they can be reunified in some fashion?
Yes.
Now, as far as a final hearing in this case, I'm not sure exactly when it's set. Are you asking that it be set out as far as possible?
Yes.
They're as close as possible to the dismissal date?
Yes.
Would that give the family more time or the parents more time to work with those specialists and start understanding Daxton's care better?
Yes.
Would that also give a little bit more time to see what sort of progress Daxton is making medically on his feeding tube and things like that?
Yes.
If Daxton's medical needs, if the feeding tube, let's say, is removed, is it possible that there may be more opportunities for longer visitation or less care needed as far as being in the parent's possession?
I think so.
Now, do you have any recommendations as far as whether there are any additional services needed from the parents?
I don't have any.
Okay. Now, as far as Daxton, is there anything else that Daxton's needing?
No, they're taking excellent care of him.
As far as coming up with a long-term plan for Daxton, do you think it would be appropriate to consider mediation in this case?
Yes.
Would you ask that the court refer us to mediation?
Yes.
Is there any other updates that the court needs at this time?
I don't think so.
Okay. Judge, I'll pass the witness.
All right, thank you. Ms. Kopic, Cynthia Webb, the intervenor, am I correct? At one point, she was Mr. Crockett's caregiver?
Yes, she's actually the runner of the company of his new caregiver. She branched off, so she's not his caregiver anymore.
Okay, is that maybe why she's not appearing? Is she maybe kind of out of the picture as far as this case is concerned?
I don't know.
Okay. All right, then, Ms. Mullinax, questions?
Thank you, Your Honor. Cassie, so Carlette is not placed or is not living with the placement for the child at this time, correct?
Correct.
Is that a possibility for her to be able to move in with that placement so she can help take care of the child supervised?
So no, she wouldn't be able to move in with them. She lives with Love's sister that's her respite provider. So that lady provides respite care for Love's foster children.
So why wouldn't Carlette be able to move in with Love? Because she has foster children?
I don't believe that they want her there. That's my understanding.
Okay, so I'm not asking if they want her there. Would it be a possibility for that to happen?
I guess if they wanted her there, then she could move in there. But my understanding is they don't.
Okay, and so your understanding also would be that she's done a very good job when she supervised taking care of her child, correct?
Correct.
And so she just needs a little more help with that.
Yes.
And pass the witness.
Right, Mr. Saint.
Thank you, Your Honor. Ms. Kopic, just to be clear, so the goal right now is not termination. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Okay. It's really just trying to come up with a living situation to keep both parents involved with Daxton, but at the same time keeping Daxton safe.
Yes.
Okay. And the homes that Carlette and Jeremy are in, they're all involved together. Is that correct?
No. Not as like a unit.
Okay. But I mean, they've been working together in this case, and everything, facilitating visits and things.
They've been cooperative with us to facilitate visits and stuff.
But you don't see a problem going forward with the different homes working together with the parents and the foster placement?
I don't think so.
Okay. You haven't had any issues so far?
No.
Okay. And you said Jeremy's getting visits how often?
They're twice a week, 2 hours.
Twice a week. Okay. And those visits are going well?
Yes.
And what's the reason of him? Is he being offered the opportunity to attend more of the medical appointments and stuff?
He's attended the one that we've asked him to attend, but in the future, yes, we want him to attend more. But it'll just be working it out with placement of when Daxton has appointments.
Okay, so it's not any concerns about him that you don't want him at the medical appointments. It's just a logistics issue.
Correct.
Okay, good. Thank you. I'll pass the witness.
All right, thank you, Ms. Archer.
No questions, Judge.
All right. Mr. Michelson.
Just briefly, because the report indicates that Carlette does very well in caring for Dax, is it possible for her to increase her amount of time with the care of Dax?
I think that should be fine as long as it's supervised to make sure, that Daxtons continue to be safe.
Okay, and how could that be facilitated?
She would just work it out with the placement because it's her relative.
Okay, thank you.
Is that it, Mr. Michelson?
Yes, sir.
All right, Mr. Noack.
Just briefly, Cassie, it's always good to see you. Now, Daxton lives with David and Love Hayes, correct?
Yes.
And Carlette lives in a home. Is it Love's sister that has that home?
Yes.
Okay. And I think I heard you say that the visits are going well between Dax and his mom, correct?
Yes.
Now, if Love, the caregiver for Daxton and the sister to the caregiver for Carlette, if Love were to ask for a couple hours of unsupervised visits between Carlette and her child Daxton, what would you think about that?
At this time, I think that they still need to be supervised. I did speak with the nurse too, and she's willing to supervise some of that contact if, Love has to do something during the day. So
I think that's what Love was looking for, maybe some respite. But she's also told me that she believes that Carlette is ready for some unsupervised visits with Daxton.
She's told me that too.
Okay. Is Carlette making improvements towards those unsupervised visits?
Can you ask me that a different way?
I'll try my best. What will Carlette need to do to have unsupervised visits with Daxton?
So at this time with, his medical needs and stuff like that, we're just not comfortable with that. I mean, if he was to improve more where he didn't, require all of the care, then I don't know. That's just kind of a tough question to answer.
Is it more of a question of what the child's needs are versus what Carlette can learn?
Yes, it's just we don't want anything bad to happen to Daxton. I don't think that she would intentionally do anything to harm Daxton, but to have that extra person there, especially since he does get that nursing care and stuff, it would just make us more comfortable.
Cassie, thank you so much. Judge, I'll pass the witness.
All right. Anyone have further questions for Ms. Kopic?
No, Your Honor.
All right, then Ms. Wildman, anything further from the department?
No, Your Honor. We just ask that placement continued and that we have the reasonable efforts and continuing danger findings, and as far out as we can put that final, the better.
Okay. I will make the findings before I forget to do that later of reasonable efforts on the part of the department to reunify. All right, Ms. Mullinax, any witnesses?
No witnesses, Your
Thank you, Mr. Saint.
No, Your Honor.
Ms. Archer?
May I ask Jeremy a quick question?
Sure.
Jeremy.
Mr. Crockett, he's muted. Mr. Crockett, if you unmute, go ahead,
Hi,
Ms.
Jeremy.
Archer.
Hi, how you doing, ma'am?
Good.
I'm great. How about yourself?
Good, thank you. Is Cynthia Webb with you right now?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, thank you. I needed to know that for my records.
That was really my only question, Judge, is I want to clarify that.
All right. Now, I guess I'm not sure. Mr. Crockett is not living with Cynthia Webb, but she just owns the company. Is that my understanding?
Yes, that's right. She owned her own company, sir.
And you're not living with Miss Webb, but I guess she.
No, I'm not. I'm living with her sister-in-law.
Okay, she's part. Miss Webb, if you would, you're a part of this case. I didn't know you were there. Did you have any questions for Miss Coppock? I passed over you because I didn't know you were with us.
Yes, sorry, I wasn't sure if I was allowed to be on here. I don't have any questions at this time.
Okay, so but clarify it for me, Mr. Crockett. He doesn't physically live in your home, but the home that he lives in is that's part of your company.
Yeah, it's a supervised living home.
Okay, that's the word I was looking for. Thank you. Okay,
you're welcome.
All right then. Let's see. I don't know how far I got. Does anybody else have any more witnesses? No. Okay. All right then. Let's start. Ms. Archer, give me your recommendations as guardian ad litem for Mr. Crockett.
I believe that he's doing great and his visits seem to be appropriate. So right now I'm in agreement with the status quo.
Okay. And then Mr. Michelson is guardian ad litem for Ms. Smith. Anything to add?
Likewise, I think Carlette seems to be doing very well. I would just encourage more visitation between her and Dax as possible, and to continue the case as far out as possible.
Sure. Mr. Nowak, any recommendations for Daxton?
Continued placement and services, and yeah, let's put it out as far as we possibly can. I spent a lot of time talking to Love Hayes, and I get that she's related to Carlette. I get that, but I'm a decent judge of character, and she is wanting to see if we can't do some sort of unsupervised visit between Mom and Daxton. And I say unsupervised, I think they both live. Carlette and Daxton live in homes with caregivers that are pretty much always there. I would encourage Cassie and St. Francis to see what they can do about giving Mom, and I'm going to put this in quotes, unsupervised visits, maybe when Love isn't there, but another caregiver's there, and kind of keeping an eye on Mom and making sure she knows how to care for Dax. And Judge, those are my recommendations. Thank you so much.
All right, then I will continue the department's temporary managing conservator, continue Daxton's current placement. I will order the mediation. And it's along the lines of what Mr. Nowak was stating. I don't have a problem with Ms. Smith or Mr. Crockett having more time with Daxton. I guess what I'd say, especially about Miss Love, from what I'm hearing, I don't have a problem with Ms. Smith or Mr. Crockett really being there. And if Miss Love has something she has to do, as Mr. Nowak stated, as long as the nurse is there, then I'm perfectly comfortable with that. I don't know that I've heard enough to say that either parent should have absolutely unsupervised contact at this point. But certainly we've got the nurse, and the nurse can certainly just kind of watch the parents with Daxton, and the nurse will be there in case, for lack of a better word, they don't know what to do or they're not sure what to do. So I'm not going to try to put that in the ruling, but I certainly have no problem with as much interaction between Daxton and the parents as we can get, as long as that nurse or Miss Love can kind of be there as a backup, is the way I'd put it. So, okay, the farthest out we can find to put this now would be has set the final for January 26th, and that's what I'll do. It will be by Zoom like today's hearing. This is kind of in my opinion, kind of a special case. We can always fall back on calling the case and recessing. That gives the court 90 days from January 26th before I have to absolutely make a ruling. So we'll have that as a backup in case we're getting there, but not quite there yet. So just y'all keep that in mind when we come to the final hearing on January 26th. So, okay. We'll recess on this case. I will be back here in about 5 minutes or so to call another. Trying to
get everybody in. I show Miss Wildman is. Oh, she may be in the other hearing. I mean, I may have put her. I'm gonna have to go back. Let me get it in my breakout rooms and. Yeah, I'm gonna have to send her back so she can come into.
I can message her, Your Honor, if that helps.
I've already hit the button to put her back in the main session. We'll see if that works.
Judge, kind of like the last case, again, I was newly appointed, and just out of caution, I sent this the link to placement, and that was our Trevor and Matthew Molina. And ordinarily, I wouldn't invite placement. I'd ask them to watch on YouTube unless I had a reason to call them. But given this is, it's a new case to me, and I just didn't want to miss anything, Judge.
All right. Again, I'll just ask the other turn. Well, let me call.
I've called the case, haven't I? So does anybody object to having placement in this case in there, or do you want me to send them to YouTube?
No objection.
No objection.
Okay, I'll bring them in. Ms. Wildman, let me get rid of my screen. Yeah, Ms. Wildman is with us for the department. Mr. Nowak is with us representing the children. Mr. Jackson's with us representing the mother. Ms. Shadbolt, I show she's in prison. Is that still correct, Mr. Jackson?
That's my understanding, Your Honor.
All right. Mr. Saint is with us representing the mother. Mr. Saint, I showed that she is incarcerated in the Potter County Jail. Is that still correct?
I represent the father, Judge.
I'm sorry, Father Yancey Fee. Is he in Potter County Jail?
No, Judge. I got an order signed by you to appear, and when I submitted it to the jail, they told me he is not there. I don't know where he is and haven't heard anything about where he might be.
All right, then. All right. This case was set for 11 o'clock. It's now 11:10. We'll proceed in Mr. Fee's absence. I believe that's everybody, and I don't have anyone in the waiting room. So, Ms. Wildman, you may proceed.
I should have Michelle Silva in the waiting room.
You don't.
Give me one moment, Judge, to see where she is. Oh, all right. Give us one moment, Judge, and we will get in touch with her.
Okay. Everybody's talking at the same time. That's fine. Go ahead and try and get hold of your witness.
Joel, it's good to see you, my friend.
Oh, good to see you. Thank you.
Sir.
While we're waiting, I don't know if somebody can answer this for me. I missed one party. I show a Kaylin Anderson is an alleged father, possibly to Pax, and I show he's incarcerated. Does that sound right to anybody?
I talked to Michelle Silva earlier, and that rings a bell. Yes, sir.
Okay. All right.
I believe he may not be incarcerated anymore, Judge, and that was part of the reason for the extension is he's been located. He was in a treatment facility, I believe, and then maybe was no longer at that facility, and they were able to get in touch with him afterwards.
Okay. All right. Well, we'll proceed in Mr. Anderson's absence also.
And I believe at our last hearing, we ordered a paternity test on Mr. Anderson.
Yeah, you're right. All right. We'll just wait to see if your witness appears.
Yes. All right. And real briefly, where are they currently placed?
They are placed in a foster home in Amarillo, Texas.
And how are they doing in that placement?
They're doing really good in placement.
Do either of the children have any special medical needs?
No.
And otherwise, are all of the needs of the children being met?
Yes.
Now, are the children undergoing any sort of services, therapy, anything like that?
Pax is going to therapy.
Okay. And Sanjay is a little young for that, correct?
Correct.
Sanjay is just one. All right. So, have you had any contact with the parents recently?
Yes, with just Kaylon, and then we saw Yancey.
When did you last see Mr. Fee?
The 29th or the 30th.
Of December?
Yes.
And I mean, what is your understanding of where he's currently located?
It just says TDCJ, but it still doesn't show him up on anywhere yet.
Okay. So you haven't been able to contact him since?
No.
But it's your understanding that he is in prison somewhere?
Yes.
What about the mother, Jessica? Shadbolt, when's the last time you had contact with Jessica?
Jerica, I had
I'm sorry.
contact with her. It's been a couple months.
Okay. What is your understanding about where she's located?
She's located in Woodman facility in Gatesville, Texas.
And is that also a TDCJ facility, to your understanding?
Yes.
All right. And so when's the last time you had contact with Kaylin?
Just a little bit ago.
And so Kalen Anderson, who is he the alleged father of?
He's the alleged father of Pax.
Okay. And what sort of contact have you had with Kalen?
Just over the phone. He doesn't want to see me until he knows for sure he's the father.
Have you talked to him at all about doing services or working or preparing a family service plan?
Yes.
Yeah. But at this point, he's not willing to do that until the genetic testing has come back.
Correct.
Okay. Now, prior, I suppose, to their being transported to TDCJ, what sort of, let's start with Jerica, what sort of services had Jerica completed?
She completed counseling, drug screening. She did her psychosocial, her parenting classes. She started going to a group meet for the BIT program.
Now, do you have any idea how long she's going to be incarcerated?
I don't.
And is she able at this time, do you know yet if she's able to continue services?
I don't. I sent a courtesy worker to go out and speak with her.
And Mr. Fee, do you know what kind of services he had completed before he was transferred?
I haven't received any at all.
Yeah. And at this point, have you been able to reach out to him or get a courtesy worker out to talk to him yet?
No. He doesn't show up on our website yet.
Would it be possible at this time to place the children with any of the three parents?
No.
And what sort of continuing danger is there to the children?
Yeah, there's no housing services. Kalon is out of prison, but he's, waiting for paternity test to be done tomorrow.
Okay, so the testing is set up for tomorrow?
Yes.
Okay. And at this point, do you know enough about Mr. Anderson to potentially place there?
I don't.
And is that just because he's not willing to cooperate with anything until he gets that genetic testing?
Correct. He's just given me a little bit of information.
Now, would returning home at this time be in the best interest of the children?
No.
What's that?
No.
Now, if the parents are able, are you intending to still work services with them while they're incarcerated?
Yes.
Are you still intending to work to provide visitation if possible and work towards those reasonable efforts to reunify?
Well, there's no visits if they're incarcerated.
But if they were to not be incarcerated while the case is still pending, would those be set back up or continue?
Yes.
And have you worked with the family, or has the department worked with the family to have those visits and work those services prior to their incarceration?
Yes.
At this point, are we asking that any additional services be added or ordered to the parents?
No.
And are you recommending that the children's placement continue?
Yes.
I'll pass the witness, Judge.
All right, thank you, Mr. Jackson.
Ma'am, when is the last time that Jerica had any access to these kiddos, or to at least Sanjay?
I do know that it was sometime in September. She had a visit, and then the next week she was supposed to confirm a visit, but she didn't. She was avoiding jail.
Okay. And that September visit was her last visit?
Yes.
To your knowledge, was it a good visit?
Yes.
Okay. No further questions, Your Honor.
Thank you, Mr. Saint.
Thank you, Judge. Ms. Silva, you said you spoke or you met with Mr. Fay around December, I think you said 29th or 30th. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. Did he express to you what he wanted to? Well, first of all, let me ask you this. On the original petition, it has him listed as the father to both Pax and Sanjay. But is he not the father to Pax?
He's only the father of Sanjay.
Okay. Do you know why it was listed on the petition that way?
At that time, they thought that he was the father of both. But then he had a paternity test and it came back that he was only the father of Sanjay.
Okay, so we've taken care of that.
Yes.
And when you spoke to him or met with him in the jail, did he express to you what he wanted to happen with Sanjay?
Yes.
Oh, and what was that?
I actually can't speak for that. My coworker went out to see him due to being ill that day. So she went out to speak to him.
Okay. Do you know if he's wanting his family looked at?
Yes.
Okay. And has he expressed concerns about Sanjay being with the mother's family?
Yes.
And have you spoken to anybody in his family about possible placement?
I didn't due to the judge's request on the last court date of no more home studies.
Okay. And if you do locate him, would you let me know when you do?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Thank you. I'll pass the witness.
All right, thank you. Mr. Nowak.
Thank you, Judge. Ms. Silva, what is the current goal for the children? Is it reunification? Is it adoption? Or
The goal is unrelated adoption and then fictive kin adoption.
are there any home studies currently being processed?
Yes.
And who is that on?
That is on Ashley Badine and Tyler Anderson.
Are those cousins from Arkansas?
Yes.
I just wanted to make sure I had everything straight, Judge. Michelle, thank you so much. Judge, I'll pass the witness.
All right, thank you. Are they, I know I ordered the ICPC. Are they paternal or maternal cousins?
Maternal.
Okay. All right, then, anyone have further questions for Ms. Silva?
No, Your Honor.
All right, then, Ms. Weldman, any other witnesses?
No further witnesses, Judge. We just ask that there be those findings of the continued danger and reasonable efforts to reunify.
All right, I will make those findings. Mr. Jackson, any witnesses?
No witnesses, Your Honor.
Thank you. Mr. Saint?
No, Your Honor.
Mr. Nowak, any witnesses?
No witnesses, just a recommendation whenever the court's ready.
I'm ready.
Pax and Sanjay are doing really well in placement. They're doing age-appropriate activities, both at St. Andrew's School and at the church. They seem to be thriving there. My recommendation is to maintain TMC, maintain placement.
All right.
That's my recommendation, Judge. Thank you so much.
Thank you. All right, do we want a permanency hearing in 4 months? Or do we want to set a final or what?
Yes, Judge, I think. Well, let me look and see when the dismissal date is, Judge.
The dismissal date's August 2nd.
Let's go ahead and set a permanency hearing with Mr. Anderson is found to be the father of Pax and does want to work a service plan. I think that's probably best to do that as a permanency review.
All right. Brittany, I'm going to need a permanency date sometime before 120 days from today.
Okay, let me look here.
All right, go ahead. In the meantime, I will continue the department as temporary managing conservator and continue the children's current placements. Ms. Wildman is with us for the department. Ms. Wiggins is with us representing the child. Mr. Jackson is with us representing the father, Mr. Orsanya. And Mr. James is with us representing, Mr. Singh is with us representing the mother, Miss Amati, who is with us. That's all the parties. I have Michaela Kirksey and Tim Koval in the waiting room.
Tim Koval is the caseworker on this particular case, and then Michaela, I think, was the worker who was on earlier.
Is she in this case?
She's the supervisor.
Supervisor, Judge.
Oh, supervisor. Okay, I'll get them both in.
And where is Journey currently placed?
Journey is placed with her father in Amarillo.
And how is Journey doing?
Journey's doing very well in her placement with father. I was able to supervise a visit and meet her last week, a week ago Sunday. And she was a very rambunctious little girl, a lot of energy, but she's healthy and doing well.
Now, is Journey doing any kind of therapy or any kind of services?
I don't believe that we're doing any therapy at this point.
Okay. Does she have any special medical needs or anything like that?
Although I'm new to the case, just being assigned on January 2nd, I did note that there's a diagnosis of autism. I haven't seen any medical info about that, just a reference to it. She is very verbal and interacted well with me and with her parents in the visit that I supervised, but that's the only medical that I saw.
So at this point, the department doesn't have any concerns or anything about her being cared for in placement?
No.
Now, have you had the opportunity to meet with the parents in this case?
Yes, I have.
And have you worked with them on developing family plans of service?
Yes, we did. And it's kind of 11th hour because we thought that the hearing was going to be later in the month. Had a little bit of wires crossed, but we did get signed family plans filed with the court as of today.
Okay. And so you met with both parents to get those taken care of?
I did.
Okay. And so let's talk about the service plan that we have in place for Miss Amati. What are some of the services that are being recommended?
We recommend an assessment with Texas Panhandle Centers. And I would add that she says that she's done that assessment. I'm waiting to get the medical records from TPC.
Okay.
And then individual counseling. And again, she says that she has an individual counselor that she is already meeting with. And I'm waiting to get that information so that we can get a signed release of information and I can then communicate with that therapist. And then a psychological evaluation with Stonebridge. It was actually scheduled for last week and Stonebridge had to cancel it due to an emergency with the provider, but it has been rescheduled for Thursday of this week for her to have her psychological evaluation.
Okay.
And then another service is a co-parenting class through Fatherhood Fire. And we would like for her to do that just to maintain and reinforce the co-parenting with the father, especially considering that he is the placement for Journey in this case. But we've seen good signs of co-parenting, but this is really just to reinforce that and make sure that it is maintained going forward. And then just the normal staying in contact and appropriate housing and employment.
And so what of these services that you went over are specifically tailored to Miss Amati's needs in this particular case?
In this particular
excuse me, I'm sorry to interrupt you, Mr. Coble. I need to take a quick break to take a phone call. Okay, sorry for the interruption. I'm back so we can proceed.
And Mr. Coville?
Sorry, trying to get my video back on. There we go.
And the question was, what of these services is tailored specifically to the needs of this case?
Concerning that there were mental health concerns related to the removal, we believe that the assessment with TPC will be beneficial and that TPC will be able to possibly do some referrals coming from that assessment, as well as the individual counseling, which will assist with, mom dealing with the chaos and the grief of, having her child separated from her for the moment. And also the psychological evaluation with Stonebridge will help us to get an idea of those mental health concerns and if those are ongoing or isolated.
And have you met with Mr. Osanya about a service plan?
Yes, I have, and he signed his family plan and it was filed with the court.
And what sort of services is he being asked to complete?
He's being asked to attend individual counseling as well. Regarding the turmoil of suddenly having an emergency placement of his child with him and everything that goes with that, we believe that the individual counseling will just help him to navigate that. And then also, just as with Ms. Amati, we're asking Mr. Orsanya to complete a co-parenting class as well to make sure that we reinforce and maintain that co-parenting relationship.
And is that co-parenting class especially sort of tailored to the needs of this case?
It is.
Now, at this point, Journey is placed with a parent, correct?
Correct.
What sort of visitation is in place for Miss Amati, the other parent in the case?
Visitation is set up once a week, supervised by St. Francis for 1 hour at the St. Francis offices. I believe it's on Thursdays.
Okay. And at this point, I mean, what sort of continuing danger exists to prevent Journey being returned to her mother's home?
We're still trying to evaluate and make sure that the mental health concerns that led to the removal have been mitigated. Little soon to determine whether those are still ongoing or if it was isolated. We have requested records from TPC as well as from the behavioral hospital where she spent a couple of weeks. So as soon as we receive those were requested last week. That will help us to evaluate where she's at and to look at the professional opinions of those individuals.
So at this point, do you believe that returning back to Miss Orsanya or Miss Amati would be contrary to Journey's best interest?
Yes.
Do you believe the department is making reasonable efforts to reunify with Miss Amati?
Yes.
And what ways are they doing that?
We are maintaining contact with Ms. Amati. We are requesting records and setting up services with professionals that will be able to work with her and see if we need to do further referrals that will assist in mitigating that risk so that the child can be returned to her. And obviously we're setting up the visitation to occur every week to maintain that bond between her and Journey.
Are you asking that the family plans of service be made an order of the court today?
Yes.
Otherwise, are we recommending that Journey remain with her father and that services be completed?
Yes.
I'll pass the witness, Judge.
Thank you. Mr. Saint?
Thank you, Judge. Mr. Coville, have you met with Miss Amati?
Yes, I have.
Okay. Can you hear me okay?
I can. Can you hear me?
Okay. And has she explained to you that she feels that this is an overreaction to an isolated incident?
She has explained that.
Okay. And she gave you a release of information for those records?
Yeah.
And have you been able to obtain them yet?
I've not obtained them yet. I made a second request of Oceans to get their records today. Apparently they never got the fax last week, so I emailed it today. And I made a second call to TPC to get the records from their evaluation. And so hopefully within the next day or so, I should have that.
Okay. And is Oceans the individual counseling that she's doing?
Well, Oceans was the hospitalization.
Oh, okay. And as you mentioned, she's actually been in individual counseling. Correct.
That's what she stated to me. I don't know who the counselor is, so I'm waiting for that information so that I can get a release of information.
Okay. And are you aware that she's actually an LPC herself?
I am aware.
Okay. There were some things I think in the affidavit about work events or something. Have you spoken to her employer?
I have not spoken to her employer.
Okay. And so the focus is strictly on mental health concerns. Is that correct?
Yes.
There are no other concerns that you have with Miss Amati?
That's correct. From what we read in the case file and from our interviews with Ms. Amati, we don't have any concerns other than the reason for removal, which was mental health concern.
Okay. And so do you think the records from her providers and the psychological evaluation will help you determine how quickly you can return Journey to her mother?
I do believe that will help.
Thank you. I'll pass the witness.
Thank you, Mr. Jackson.
Thank you, Judge. Mr. Coville, you just testified that the focus is on the mental health issues of the mother. Is that an accurate statement?
Yes, sir.
Well, isn't truly the focus of this on the well-being of the child?
Well, I think that the question that I was answering had to do with what we would need to focus on in order to provide a reunification.
Okay. And at the very least, I take it that your position is for the mother and for the father in this case is for both of these parents to work through these services and to determine what they gather from these services, what they've learned as to when you'll make a decision to return this child to her otherwise her status.
I'm not sure I understood what the question was.
Well, I mean, normally, I mean, you can look through the medical records of the mother, but isn't it the case the department wants to see these parents work through services to see what they glean from these services to see if they can actually apply what they've learned before the child is returned?
Absolutely. The services are not just check boxes to check off. They're supposed to help the parents deal with this situation.
Okay. All right. Thank you. And as far as Mr. Osanya has been, as far as he's concerned, has he been compliant with you?
Yes, he's been very cooperative. He's done everything that we've asked.
Okay, and I take it that by virtue of you saying that he's communicating with you.
Yes.
Okay. Your Honor, I have no further questions of this witness. I would ask the court to take up some housekeeping at the end of this hearing with regard to a child support issue.
All right. Ms. Wiggins?
I have no questions.
All right. Anyone else have further questions for Mr. Coble? All right, then. Ms. Wildman, any other witnesses?
No other witnesses, Judge. We just ask for the finding continued danger, reasonable urgency reunify, and that the family plans of service be added to the court order.
Okay, thank you. And I will make those findings before I forget. All right, then, Mr. Saint, any witnesses?
Your Honor, at this time, I'll call my client, Ms. Amati.
All right, and both parents be aware this hearing is only a status hearing with regard to the services, so I don't want to hear evidence about what we heard at the adversary hearing. So, all right, Ms. Amati, if you would unmute Mr. Saint.
Thank you, Judge. Ms. Amati, have you received your service plan?
Yes, I have.
And did Mr. Colville go over it with you?
Yes, he did.
And in fact, you've already set up your psychological evaluation, is that correct?
Yes, that's correct.
And you did provide the release of information so he could get the records?
Yes, I did. I've given him the information for the counselor as well.
Okay. And is it your hope and belief that seeing this information, seeing psychological evaluation, that St. Francis will see that that the concern was not as great as what it was made out to be?
That's correct.
Okay. Are you still working?
Yes, I am still working.
Okay, you're still seeing patients?
Yes, I am.
Okay. And you are having your visits with your child?
I didn't have my visit last week for Thursday because of the snow, so it hasn't been weekly, and the caseworker hasn't got with me about when that's supposed to be this week. I've been on top of that, but that's always kind of been an issue with the visits.
And but you do have Mr. Coville's contact information?
I do.
Okay. Thank you. I'll pass the witness.
All right, Ms. Wildman, questions?
No questions.
Mr. Jackson, questions?
Briefly, Your Honor. Ms. Amati, Journey was removed from your care, I think, on or about December the 6th. Is that correct?
It was December the 3rd.
Okay, I'm sorry, December 3rd. And since that time, for the month of December, did you receive a child support payment from Mr. Orsanya?
Your Honor, I'm going to object as relevance. As you stated, the status hearing is only set for the family plan and the service of citation.
Yeah, if there's something to do with child support, the motion would have to be filed so all the parties would be aware of what we're talking about. So sustain it.
Okay, just for the courts, we did file a motion. We filed a motion this morning, and that was the very thing I wanted to take up at the end of this hearing, so I can take it up.
Well,
later.
let me ask this. Parties are entitled to 3 days notice of a hearing on a subject matter. Does anybody object to taking that? I haven't seen it myself, but does anybody?
I do object, Your Honor. I haven't seen it either, so
Okay.
this is the first time hearing of it.
All right, so Mr. Jackson, you can just get with Brittany and we can set a hearing for that.
Your Honor, I do believe under the statute that the adversary hearing does reserve the child support issue for the status hearing.
Not
the statute, but that it would be, our adversary hearing order does.
Ms. Wildman, the statutes also say parties are entitled to 3 days notice. So if it was only filed today, we're not going to have a hearing on that today. So go ahead, Mr. Jackson.
No further questions.
All right, thank you. Ms. Wiggins?
Ms. Amati, when the child was in your care, was she formally tested for autism?
No, she wasn't.
Okay, no further questions.
All right, anyone have further questions for Ms. Amati? All right, then. All right, Mr. Jackson, did you have any? I'm sorry, Mr. Saint, did you have any further witnesses?
No, Your Honor.
All right, Mr. Jackson, any witnesses?
No, sir.
All right, thank you. Ms. Wiggins, witnesses?
No, Your Honor.
All right, Ms. Wiggins, recommendations.
I recommend the child remain in the placement of the father. Child is doing well. I would ask that we have a formal diagnosis for autism. I think it's been floated out there that possibly the child has autism, but I'd like a formal evaluation just so we can conclude one way or the other that the child has autism or not.
All right, Ms. Amati, does Journey have a physician who could make that diagnosis, or do we need to get another type of professional?
Sorry, I'm coming off of mute, but she would need someone to be like a referral for that because it's just a regular PCP.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
You're welcome. All
right. Give me just a minute. All right, then I will continue the department's temporary managing conservator, continue Journey's current placement. I'll order the services for each parent as contained in their service plans, and I will order that Journey be evaluated by an appropriate provider for being on the autism scale. Okay, the next hearing will be the initial permanency hearing. That will be on May 19th, 2025. That's assuming we may have a hearing earlier on whatever the child support issue is. But the hearing on May 19th will be by Zoom, just like today's hearing, so parties and attorneys can go on the court's online docket a day or two in advance of May 19th to see what time we'll have that hearing. Thank you, ma'am. Ms. Amati, Mr. Orsanya, I need to admonish you today that the services contained in your service plan become a court order. At a final hearing, if you haven't worked those services, your parental rights could be altered or terminated. Do you both understand that?
I do.
Yes.
Okay, thank y'all. All right, that will conclude this hearing. For those of you involved, I'll be back at 12:45 to call another Randall County case. That's a motion. Ms. Gutierrez is with us for the department. Ms. Wiggins is with us representing the child. The relative custodians, Arcelia Chavez and Gennaro Chavez, are not with us. I have Stacy Brown in the waiting room. She's a supervisor. I'll let her in.
Okay, thank you, Your Honor.
Okay, we're ready to go then.
Okay, thank you, Your Honor. I'd like to inform the court that I did circulate the proposed order granting the motion for judgment nunc-pro-tunc and the proposed judgment for nunc-pro-tunc. It was signed by Harry Ingram. I realize I'm going to need to resubmit that to Ms. Wiggins, and I'll do that today or tomorrow. It was also signed by Arcelia Chavez, who was present for that final hearing, and Cody Pirtle, who was present for that final hearing as mom's attorney.
Okay.
The father's attorney, Bill Taylor, did not return. He indicated by email that he would, but he did not. So I don't know whether or not he's in agreement, Your Honor. We are asking to just correct the child's name so that the process of adoption can continue.
Okay. We're just adding Junior to his name, correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. Ms. Wiggins, anything to add?
No, Your Honor, we have no objection.
Okay. All right. Then I will grant the department's motion. And if it's been presented, as soon as it is presented to me, I'll be happy to sign off on it.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Everyone. All right, thank you.
Good afternoon.
That will conclude this hearing. I'll be back at 1 o'clock. I will call two related Randall County cases. First case is here on a permanency hearing. Ms. Gutierrez is with us for the department. Ms. Wiggins is with us representing the child. Mr. Jackson is with us representing the mother, Ms. Gordon. She is not in the waiting room. Mr. Jackson, were you expecting her?
Judge, I haven't been in communication with my client.
Okay, thank you. Ms. Kincaid is with us representing the father, Mr. Fuentes, who is with us. I will also call cause number 8. In that case, again, Ms. Gutierrez for the department, Ms. Wiggins for the children, Ms. Kincaid representing Mr. Fuentes, the father. Ms. Moore, the mother, is with us. Her attorney, Mr. Pirtle, is not with us. We're trying to contact him right now, so we'll wait a couple of minutes to see if we can contact him and see where he's at. So I'll be back very shortly. I do have Michelle Silva in the waiting room. Is she involved in these cases?
Yes, she's my caseworker on them.
Okay, I'll get her in. She's the only one in the waiting room. We'll be back shortly. Okay. We called Mr. Pirtle's office. They said he was having trouble with his Zoom today. This is the second hearing today he's missed in my court. Let me see. Miss Moore, he's not come into the waiting room. We've had, by my calculations, we have until February 4th to hold this hearing. If you want me to, I'll continue it or postpone it. We'll set it for another time, and hopefully Mr. Pirtle will be with us. Or if you want to go forward today, we can.
Yeah, that's fine.
Go forward?
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you, ma'am. All right, let's see. Amy, did I get both cases called? Okay, all right. All right, so we're only missing Miss Gordon, which Mr. Jackson's not had communications with. This case was set for 1 o'clock. It's now 1:16. We will proceed in both Mr. Pirtle and Miss Gordon's absence. I don't have anyone in the waiting room, Miss Gutierrez, so you may proceed.
Thank you, Your Honor. The department calls Michelle Silva as its witness. Thank you.
Right.
And did you
I'm
file?
sorry to interrupt you real quick. Mr. Fuentes, if you'd please take your cap off, please. Thank you, sir. Go ahead, Ms. Gutierrez.
No problem. Okay. Let's see. Oh, did you file court reports in each cause number on December 30th of 2024?
Yes.
Your Honor, we ask that the court take judicial notice of that.
All right, so noted, and I have read both reports.
Thank you, Your Honor. Now, Michelle, are there any updates on the children of Brittany Moore and Michael since the filing of the court report?
They're doing good in placement. They just returned back from the holiday. They had a good Christmas.
Okay, that's fantastic. And are there any updates regarding Lamella?
Lamella's doing good in her new placement. She was placed in a kinship home in Amarillo with Michael's aunt, Macy Fuentes.
Thank you. And are there any updates on Deanna since the filing of the court report?
Yes, she's currently in West Pines Behaviour Health in Wheat Ridge, Colorado. I asked if she could get on, but they're currently transporting her to a longer term program.
Has she signed a release for you to be able to communicate?
No, not yet.
And have you asked her to?
I haven't been able to speak to her until she goes to the location where she's going to be placed.
Okay, great. Now, in regards to Brittany Moore, what are the updates on her since the filing of the court report?
Brittany has completed her psychological. She has 2 counseling sessions left. She reports to complete the parenting classes. She just needs to pick up her certificate from Hope Choice. And then she has 3 classes left of her domestic violence program.
Right. And what are the updates on the father, Michael, since the filing of the court report?
So Michael completed his psychosocial and also counseling with Steve Jennings. He completed his parenting classes, his BIP classes. No, not, yes. And then Padre classes. He's completed all his services. He just needs to finish the classes for his license and then the requirements for his probation.
Now, the classes for his license, are you referring to his driver's license?
Yes.
Okay. And can you give a little bit more explanation on that piece?
He had a suspended license in Colorado. They're requiring him to complete classes for that, and he started it, and he has a couple left to go. He also has an OSAR that he has to redo, and he has that one scheduled as well.
I'm sorry, I have completed the IOP.
Okay.
What's that?
That's the class for my driver's license.
Oh, okay. All right. Thank you.
For the driver's license, that has to be sent to Colorado. Colorado are the ones that will release his license.
Okay. Now, in regards to visitation, how are Brittany's visits going with her children?
She hasn't had any visits for the last couple of weeks because of holiday, and then the worker had a sick child, so she'll have 2 hours this week, and they've been going well.
Now, can you explain what do you mean she didn't have visits because of the holiday? Their closure?
Yes.
If you could explain, was St. Francis closed, or was she on vacation? What happened there?
So the last 2 visits were because of the holiday. On a Wednesday, she has classes, not classes, visits. And they were, we were closed for both holidays, Christmas and the New Year's.
Okay. But it sounds like you're giving her a little bit extra time this weekend. Will that be ongoing?
No. It's just the last visit that she missed because of the worker, and so the worker has to give her another hour.
Now, Deanna's visitation was suspended at the last hearing. Is that correct?
Correct.
And that's until she provides a negative urinalysis drug screen result and a negative hair follicle drug screen result. Is that correct?
Correct.
Has she provided those?
No.
Have you requested that she drug screen since that last hearing?
Yes.
And did she comply with your request to drug screens?
No.
In regards to Mr. Fuentes, how is his visitation with all the children going?
His visits are going well.
Are his visits with the older 3 separate from his visits with Lamella?
They're all together. He has Friday visits supervised by Lamella's placement, which is Macy Fuentes. and all 4 children are there for his visits, and he gets 2 hours.
In regards to service plans, has Ms. Gordon completed any services?
No.
And I believe you already gave us an update for Brittany and for Mr. Fuentes. Are there any additional services that need to be made in order of the court?
No.
Are we asking for the court to order any drug screens today?
No.
Now, in regards to family reunification, what reasonable efforts has the department taken to reunify the family?
So, I've been making sure, keeping track of both, all 3 parents. Michael has 2-hour visits with the kiddos supervised by the aunt, and just staying staying in contact with both parents. I created a family plan of service for each parent.
And are you also attempting to help Brittany, Michael, and Deanna complete that?
Correct.
And all children are placed with a family member, correct?
Correct.
Now, in regards to Mr. Fuentes particularly, he has completed a lot of services. What is the department looking for before they reunify the children with him?
So he needs to at least have a license so he could be able to transport the kids, to school, to and from, and for Adriana to continue her counseling and, what other places that the kids need to go to, like medical, dental. And then also he needs to finish his OSAR and complete the recommendations that they recommend as well.
Do you believe it would be contrary to the children to return to their parents today?
Yes.
Do you believe that it would present a continuing physical health or safety?
Yes.
Let me interrupt for just a second. For the record, Mr. Pirtle has just now joined our hearing. I'm sorry, Ms. Gutierrez, go ahead.
That's okay. Let's see here. Now, you mentioned that Adriana is in therapy. Are any of the other children in therapy?
No.
And there's no psychotropic medication prescribed for any. Is that correct?
Correct. No.
Let's see here. Let me pass the witness, Your Honor.
All right. Ms. Silva, you answered, but did you mean that it would be contrary to the welfare of the children to be returned to any of the parents today?
Yes.
Would it be a continuing danger to the physical health and safety of the children to be returned to the parents today?
Yes.
You mentioned Ms. Gordon being in a treatment program in Colorado. Is that some type of drug treatment program?
I looked it up online and it says it's a behavior health program.
Okay.
There is services for drug treatment as well as mental health.
Is that something I don't know if she's on probation. Is she having to do that for some law enforcement agency, or did she just do it on her own?
She did it on her own.
Okay. And I think you kind of broke up. Did you say that Mr. Fuentes has completed the BIP program?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. All right, then, Mr. Pirtle, do you have any questions?
No questions.
All right. Mr. Jackson, any questions?
Yes, sir. Ma'am, Michelle, do you have contact information for the Wheat Ridge facility?
Yes, I got it online. Her mom is supposed to send me the exact number for when she gets to where she's going.
And whenever she gets to where she's going, could you provide me with that information, please?
Yes, sir.
Okay, no further questions, Your Honor.
All right, thank you. Ms. Kincaid.
Thank you, Your Honor. Ms. Silva, you stated that Mr. Fuentes has completed all of his services. Is that correct?
Correct, except for OSAR.
Okay.
And then whatever is required.
Okay, did he take an OSAR at the beginning of this case?
Yes.
And were there recommendations made as a result of that OSAR?
Recommendations were made, but it's also stated that he wasn't truthful.
Okay. Has he indicated a willingness to retake the OSAR?
Yes, he's already had it rescheduled with the OSAR people.
Okay. And in the meantime, has the department been drug testing him monthly?
Yes.
And those results have come back negative?
Correct.
And I know it's not on the court report because we just got it in, but he tested in January as well. Is that correct?
Yes.
And those results were negative. Is that correct?
He tested, I believe actually it was like the 30 or the 31st, not for
Okay,
January yet.
I'm sorry, but I got the results in January, so that may be me misspeaking.
It's okay.
And so you intend to send him again this month, I assume?
Correct.
Okay. And so if he's testing negative for the department and presumably probation, is there still a necessity for an OSAR?
Your Honor, I'm going to object to speculation in regards to probation.
Okay, sustain.
Okay. If he's testing negative for the department on a monthly basis, is there still a necessity for an OSAR?
Yes. Treatment so he can remain clean in the future.
Okay. Have you had an opportunity to go to his house?
Yes.
Is that house clean, safe, and appropriate?
Yes.
Is there space for the children?
Yes.
Okay. And he has his grandmother who lives with him, is that correct?
Correct.
Has a background check been done on her?
Yes.
And was she found to be appropriate?
Yes.
Okay. And he is working, is that correct?
Correct.
And we've talked about the transportation issue, and you didn't have information that he completed those classes, and I can ask him about that. But basically, once those classes are completed, we're just waiting on the state of Colorado to release that license so that he can be reinstated. Is that correct?
Correct.
And has he given you any information as to other caregivers who can assist him with transportation of the children?
He also stated his mom, Jill Fuentes.
Okay. And has he been cooperative with you?
Yes.
Has he stayed in communication with you?
Oh, yes.
Okay. Is there any, have you had an opportunity to observe any of his visits with his children?
Yes. I've conducted some visits as well. So
okay. And how did you observe that he was appropriate with the children?
Yes.
Okay. Is there any reason why the children shouldn't be returned to him today?
Just based on him, still having to do the OSAR and then what's required of his probation and then his license.
Okay, but his probation isn't an order of this court, is that correct?
It was made in order of the court on the family plan of services.
Okay, and as far as you're aware, is he in compliance with his probation?
Yes.
Okay.
But he just signed a release, so I still have not been able to talk to his probation officer.
Okay, but are you aware whether he's under any kind of revocation proceeding at this time?
I haven't spoken to her, so I don't really know about his probation.
Okay, I'll pass the witness.
All right, thank you. Ms. Silva, drugs were an issue for Mr. Fuentes when this case started, is that correct?
Correct.
And I assume from what I read, he was charged with originally, probably his probation also might have to do with the possession of controlled substance.
Correct.
So would you think it's important that he be truthful in an OSAR because they rely on what he says to decide what kind of drug treatment he needs? Is that a correct statement?
Correct.
Okay. All right. Thank you. All right, Ms. Wiggins.
I have no questions.
All right. Anyone else have further questions for Ms. Silva?
I do. I'm sorry, Your Honor.
Sure. Go ahead.
Even though the department is not in agreement that the children be returned to Mr. Fuentes today, the plan is still family reunification. Is that correct?
Correct.
To better facilitate that, would it be appropriate for Mr. Fuentes to get more visitation with the children?
That could be worked out. I would just have to speak to Macy Fuentes, but because she's the one supervising, and it's on her time.
Okay. If the visitation is set for 2 hours, supervised, what is the dismissal date for this case?
Dismissal is, I believe, 4/21.
Okay. So if we're looking at a dismissal date in about 3 months and we're still doing 2 hours supervised, what kind of plan could we put into place so that he's getting more visitation to better facilitate that reunification?
I could speak to Macy. We could do 2 more hours. It's just depending on, if she's okay with it, because ultimately she's the one that's supervising those visits.
Okay. Would it be appropriate to move to unsupervised visitation so that it's not so stressful for Macy?
Yeah, and we can also request it through St. Francis Ministries.
Okay. So would you have any concerns with him having unsupervised visits?
No.
Thank you. I'll pass witness.
Anyone else?
I have one quick follow-up. Michelle, if in the event the court approves Mr. Fuentes for unsupervised visits, would we want to make sure whoever was transporting the kids was somebody that had, would either be St. Francis or somebody approved by us?
Correct.
Okay. No further questions for this witness, Your Honor.
Anyone else?
No questions.
Ms. Silva, what's Ms. Moore's current visitation schedule?
She sees the kids 1 hour a week.
If Mr. Fuentes is getting 2 hours already and wanting more, do you have any problem with Ms. Moore having at least 2 hours a week?
Yeah, that would work.
Okay. All right. All right. If no one else has further questions for Ms. Silva, Ms. Gutierrez, any other witnesses?
No other witnesses, Your Honor. The department rests. We ask for findings of reasonable efforts to reunify in each case as testified to by Ms. Silva.
All right. I will make those findings so I don't forget to do it at the conclusion. All right, then, Mr. Pirtle, any witnesses?
No witnesses.
All right. Mr. Jackson, witnesses?
No witnesses.
Ms. Kincaid?
Yes, Your Honor, I'd call Mr. Fuentes.
Okay. Mr. Fuentes, if you done, thank you. Ms. Silva?
Or me?
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I was looking at Ms. Silva. Go ahead.
Okay, thank you, Your Honor. Mr. Fuentes, you're the father of the children, the subject of this suit, is that correct?
Correct.
And you've heard Ms. Silva's testimony today.
Yes, ma'am, I have.
Okay, and you've completed all of the services on that you've been ordered to complete other than retaking your OSAR, is that correct?
Correct. And some extra ones that they didn't require me to take.
Okay, and are you currently in compliance with your probation?
Yes, ma'am, I am.
Okay, and do you have to drug screen for probation?
Yes, ma'am, I do.
And have you had any issues
No,
with
ma'am,
your probation? Okay. Now, I kind of want to go into the transportation just a little bit. Can you explain to the court what you had to do to get your license released by the state of Colorado?
I had to take a IOP class, which is just an intensive outpatient program. It was a 54-hour, 9-week class that I completed on Tuesday. And now it's up to the company that I did it through to send that paperwork off to Colorado, and so they can lift that so I can get my license back.
Okay, but you are in the process of actively trying to get your license reinstated.
Oh, yes, ma'am.
Okay, and have you been, or do you feel like you've been cooperative with Ms. Silva?
Definitely.
And are you fine with, should the court expand your visitation today? Are you fine with her dropping in for announced and unannounced visits to your home?
Yes, ma'am, I am.
Okay, and I do want to circle back to the transportation again. I know that, you know, the department is not going to want the children to be transported by you when you don't have a license. Do you have people that would help you transport your children?
My grandmother, Virginia Luna, who they've done a background check on. My mother, Jill Fuentes. My sister, Jasmine Fuentes. And those are just the three off the top of my head.
Okay, and you've got a relative that lives nearby their school. Is that correct? Who's that?
My Aunt Macy Fuentes.
And has she indicated to you that she would assist you in transporting the children to school?
To school, my grandmother would do that because my grandmother actually works as a caretaker for my Aunt Macy's disabled daughter, and which is on the way to her house. So she would be the one dropping them off and then picking them up.
Okay, and she's indicated she'd be willing to assist you.
More than willing, yes, ma'am.
Okay, and so you don't feel like you would have issues with transportation?
No, ma'am, not at all.
Okay, and you've heard that it's important to retake your OSAR.
Yes, ma'am.
And do you have that scheduled?
For this Thursday at 3:00.
Okay, and what you would wish for today is that the children be returned to you. Is that correct?
Yes, even if it has to be a monetary return, I would love for that.
Okay, in lieu of that, are you asking for either stair step or expanded visitation, supervised, unsupervised, however we can make it work?
I would love to have unsupervised, but whatever the court is willing to give me, I will definitely take.
Okay, thank you. I'll pass the witness.
All right, Ms. Gutierrez, questions for him?
Yes, I'm sorry, is it Mr. Fuentes or Mr. PV?
It's both Fuentes, PV.
Okay, can I call you Michael?
Yes, ma'am, you may.
All right, thank you, Michael. Now, you mentioned an intensive outpatient program. Is that a substance abuse program?
Yes, and back in 2020, that's when my license was suspended, and when they told me that I had to get a license in order for the kids to return home, that's whenever I did took the assessment, like pretty much at the beginning of when this whole thing started. And I was honest with them about my marijuana use at the time, and yeah, so that's why they recommended the 54 hours and 9 weeks.
And I'm a little bit confused how the state of Colorado, to give you your license back, required you to do a substance abuse treatment program. Was the reason it was suspended drug related?
They okay, so to explain the story, whenever I was pulled over, they asked me if I wanted to go to Trinidad and do a blood work, or if I wanted to go to Pueblo and do blood work, or if I wanted to sign paperwork and be released to the custody of my mother. And so I chose option 3, and they did not explain to me that I was refusing to take a sobriety test. And so it kind of, part of my language, it screwed me over. But I mean, it happened. It is what it is. I took the class and I completed it, and it's over with.
Can you explain how is your home appropriate physically? How is it set up for the children right now?
They each have their own bedrooms. It's a 4-bedroom, 3-bath house. So Adriana has her own bedroom, own bathroom. The boys, they share a bedroom. They have bunk beds. They have everything they need. We have, a big yard. They have everything that they need, necessities, toys. We eat healthy. We no sugar in the household. I mean, just try to raise them correctly and have them be contributing people to society.
And do you work?
Yes, ma'am. I work at Amazon.
And do you have a set schedule?
Right now, I'm on a flex schedule, so I pick my own hours and my own days, and I can pick up overtime at any point that I want.
What is your childcare plan for 4 children while you're working?
While they're at school, so like I said, I get a set schedule, so it's not to where it's like a straight 8-hour shift. I pick up 3 hours at a time, so I can work till 2:30, get off, pick up the children, get them home, or to my grandmother who's willing to watch them while she's out, or to my sister who will watch them, and then go back to work until about 6, and then be off from there.
And has everyone you mentioned, has St. Francis approved everybody you plan to use if the children were returned to you for childcare?
I believe so.
Okay.
That would be honestly more of a question for Michelle, because I don't know exactly who she approved. And I know she approved my grandmother. I know she approved my Aunt Macy, approved my mother. And as far as Jasmine, I'm not too sure.
Okay, so there might be a question about Jasmine. I'll move on. And then in regards to like their doctor's appointments and everything, how would they get there if you are not able to drive quite yet?
My grandmother would take them.
Does your grandmother work?
Yes, but her and my mother, they alternate sometimes because it's like I said, it's a family thing. It's my cousin who's mentally disabled, so sometimes when my grandmother needs to go run errands or do things, my mother will go over there and watch her while my grandmother goes and does what she needs to do.
Has Michelle Silva had an opportunity to go physically into your home and view it?
Yes, ma'am, she has.
I pass the witness.
All right, Mr. Pearl, any questions?
No questions.
Mr. Jackson?
No questions.
Anything else? Anybody else for this witness? Ms. Wiggins, I didn't ask you.
Just a couple, Judge. Mr. Fuentes, you indicated it's a 4-bedroom house. Do you still live with your grandmother?
She technically lives with me. I've lived in this home for 3 years. Whenever she moved in, it was right before all this happened, and it was so that I was a single father. I was doing it all alone, so she wanted to come in and step in and help me raise the children.
Okay, and so would all the girls, there's 3 girls, correct?
Yes, Lamella would be staying in her crib in my room for the time being.
Okay, that was my question. Okay, and what are you on probation for?
Possession of controlled substance.
Okay, and how long are you on probation for?
4 years.
And when did that start?
That started in November.
So just 2 months ago?
Well, no, it's been about 4 months, so I would say October.
Okay. Okay, no further questions.
All right, anyone else have further questions for Mr. Fuentes?
I don't, Your Honor, but I'd like to recall Ms. Silva to ask what St. Francis's position is on reunification.
All right, let's get through everyone else first.
Yes, Your Honor.
Ms. Kincaid, any other witnesses?
No, Your Honor.
All right, does anybody else have any other witnesses? I've kind of gotten confused on where we were at.
No witnesses.
Okay, if there's no other witnesses, then Ms. Gutierrez, you can recall Ms. Silva. Go ahead.
Thank you, Your Honor. The department recalls Ms. Silva.
Okay, go ahead.
Michelle, what is your position? What is St. Francis's position on reunifying the 4 children back in the home of Mr. Fuentes?
We would reunify just after he completes the OZAR and then whatever recommendations they have.
Does that mean at this time we are opposed to the court ordering reunification today?
Yes.
Okay. And it sounds like you've already given an explanation. You want him to complete the remaining services. Is that correct?
Correct.
Have you had an opportunity to physically view Mr. Fuentes' home?
Correct. Yes, I have.
Okay. And were there any concerns with the physical part of the home as far as was it appropriate and safe for children?
It was appropriate. Yes.
Is Mr. Fuentes correct that you have the grandmother that lives with him approved as a caregiver?
Yes.
And that his mother as well is an approved caregiver?
Yes.
I believe he mentioned an Aunt Marcy. If I said that wrong, I'm sorry.
Macy, she was cleared by, she had a home study done and was cleared.
And Mr. Fuentes also has a sister named Jasmine. Is she an approved caretaker?
No, she has a criminal history.
Okay. In addition to that, are there any other concerns with possibly reunifying the children in the home?
No other concerns.
I pass the witness, Your Honor.
All right, anything else from anyone? All right, then, Ms. Wiggins, recommendations?
The department to remain temporary managing conservator, placement as is for right now. I am in complete agreement with more visitation with the father. I think we do need to start working towards greater visitation.
Okay, thank you. All right, then, let's take these one case at a time. I'll start with Lamella's case. I'll order the department to continue to be temporary managing conservator, placement continued. I'll order that Mr. Fuentes' visitation be increased to 4 hours weekly unsupervised. I will order Mr. Fuentes to complete the second OSAR and, more importantly, complete any recommended services from that OSAR assessment. In the PV Moore case, I'll continue the department as temporary managing conservator, continue those kiddos' current placements. Again, I'll order Mr. Fuentes' visitation increased to 4 hours weekly unsupervised. Again, I'll order him to complete a second OSAR and complete any recommended services. And I'll order Ms. Moore's visitation be increased to 2 hours weekly. Mr. Fuentes, I just want to warn you about something. The department is real sticky about parents driving with their children without driver's license and insurance on their cars. You could be the best driver in the world, and that's a real sticking point. So I'm just warning you. I've seen them move to stop visitation or move to remove the children for that very reason. So do it right. You've got all these people that can transport the kids. Since you're having unsupervised visits, it might be very tempting to just ask mom or grandma to borrow their car and do it. But I strongly urge you not to do it. I don't want to be back here visitation. Okay.
I don't want to risk anything for them to not come home. So no, I'll do everything the right way.
All right. I'm not trying to harp on you. I just wanted you to be sure.
No, and I appreciate that. I really do.
They're pretty much sticklers about that. So.
Yeah.
Okay. In both cases, I will set a final for April 14th, 2025. Those hearings will be by Zoom like today's hearings, so parties and attorneys can go on the court's online docket a day or two in advance of April 14th to see exactly what time we'll have those hearings.
I'm sorry, I do have a question.
Yes, sir.
So once I complete that second OZAR, and I believe she wanted to speak to my probation officer, if I'm not mistaken, was the other thing that they wanted. Once I complete that on Thursday, do we still have to wait till April 18th for there to be a reunification?
You'll have to talk to your lawyer about that. Something would have to be before this court, and today there's nothing before this court. My next hearing, I've got over 300 cases, so the next hearing I can set, at least at this time, would be your final hearing. So you can talk to your lawyer about that. When a motion's filed, I have to hold a hearing on that motion. So and don't forget, it's not just doing your OSAR assessment. Because they say you were untruthful the first time, and if you're truthful about your past drug use, they may want you to do something else as far as drug treatment. So it's not just do the OSAR and check off the box. We'll have to wait and see if they recommend anything else. Okay.
Correct. Yes, sir.
Okay. All right. That will conclude these hearings. For those of you involved, I'll be back here in just as quick as I can. Actually, about 5 minutes or so. Ms. Wildman is with us for the department. Randall County. Ms. Grant is with us representing the child, Cheyenne Seeley. Mr. Jackson's with us as guardian ad litem. Mr. Jackson, I assume you're guardian ad litem for Cheyenne?
Correct.
Okay. Mr. Seeley, Matthew Seeley, is not with us. Miss Brittany Stidham, the mother, is with us. Her attorney, Jeffrey Hill, is not with us yet. I'll be watching for him in the waiting room. Ms. Wildman, from reading the report, my understanding is the department's going to ask that this case be dismissed today?
That's correct, Your Honor.
Okay, all right. We'll go ahead, Ms. Stidham, we'll go ahead without Mr. Hill. I'm certain that he wouldn't be objecting to that, but I'll watch the waiting room for him. All right, I've got Erica Cantrell in my waiting room.
That's the caseworker, Judge.
Okay.
And just briefly, how did the department become involved in this case?
We were involved. It was a wrapper case. Brittany sought assistance through DFPS and St. Francis with Cheyenne and some behavioral issues and concerns.
And when did that involvement with St. Francis begin?
In April.
And at that point, what did the department place Cheyenne outside of the home?
Yes, Cheyenne was placed outside of the home.
And what kind of facility was she placed in?
She was in a residential treatment center in her first placement.
And what sort of was the purpose of that placement?
The purpose of that placement and the placements was to provide daily therapy or weekly therapy, intensive programs to assist with the behavioral concerns that she was brought into care for.
Now, where is Cheyenne currently placed?
Cheyenne is currently placed back home.
And what was the reason for that change in placement?
Brittany Stidham was very adamant that Cheyenne return to her care. She was not, she wasn't happy with the services that were being provided. Family therapy was an ongoing issue. She just did not approve of the placement and how things were being handled with that placement.
Yeah, did St. Francis believe that Cheyenne was ready to be placed back in the home?
Ma'am, we did not.
But at the insistence of Ms. Stidman, and was that placement change made?
Yes, ma'am.
And I mean, what is the department's position as far as continuing to be involved with the family?
We made it very clear at the time that we did approve to send Cheyenne home that we would not bring her back into care if mom has, if anything, disrupts the placement again. We provided services that mom could reach out to, such as with the Boys Ranch. They have an outside program. We have provided her with that information. We provided her with Delois Hinder's information to get family therapy started. But we made it very clear to her that we would not bring Cheyenne back into a a residential treatment or in care, as she was adamant that she wanted her home.
And why does St. Francis not want to be going back and forth?
It's not what's in the best interest as far as, if, Cheyenne was ready to come home as well. She said she was ready to do what she needed to do. And the continuous in and out of care, there can't be stable family therapy, individual therapy, medication reviews and such when it's a revolving door. It's not healthy for the family or Cheyenne's needs.
Do you think it's in the best interest of Cheyenne to stay, for the department to remain involved at this point?
Cheyenne, we do think it's in the best interest for her to stay. That is what mom's request was. As far as continuing to assist, Brittany has stated that she will, there are some plans of moving, and that would not be in Region 1. And so to be able to continue to help the family, that's going to be difficult if she no longer lives in Region 1, both mom and Cheyenne.
I mean, at this point, does St. Francis believe that they've kind of exhausted what options they have with the family?
Yes.
And is the department asking to be dismissed from the case?
Yes.
I'll pass the witness, Judge.
All right, Mr. Jackson.
Thank you, Judge. Ms. Cantrell, when Cheyenne was in therapy or in placement, was she making progress in her therapy?
She was. She was participating. I don't know exactly if you would say progress. I know that on multiple occasions I received messages from her therapist that, Cheyenne was still having outbursts and would be cussing and stuff during sessions, and sometimes those were productive as she was getting out some anger and stuff, but sometimes it was not productive. So I definitely think she needed to continue therapy, especially as Cheyenne was having an issue with stealing from school, from the placement, and those were issues that needed to be, worked through as well.
Okay, so she was returned, I believe, on December the 13th to her mother. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Okay, since December 13th, when she returned home, have there been other behavioral issues that you're aware of?
Yes.
What are they?
Cheyenne had stolen, or I don't want to say stolen, but there was a vape incident at the home. She did take a vape that was in the home. She did admit to that later. She has been with other family. She has stolen money from those other family members. She was caught stealing at a local store. She did not get any legal trouble with that, but she did have to pay for that. But ultimately, she had been caught stealing.
Okay. And so from what I can gather from you, and if I misstate this, just let me know, but it's my understanding the department is like, no, it really would be in Cheyenne's best interest to be or remain in placement, but because of the potential for the logistics of her mother moving outside of Region 1, it'd make it very difficult for you all to provide services. Is that correct?
I don't want to say difficult. I mean, we could obtain services down there, but to work the case legally, be out to the home weekly, to be as supportive as we can when mom and with Cheyenne in Region 1, that's going to be very difficult to do if they are not in region anymore.
Okay, so essentially you just can't have eyes on this kiddo. Okay. Your Honor, I'll pass the witness.
All right, thank you. Ms. Grant?
Ms. Cantrell, do you know Cheyenne's position on whether she wants to be with her mother or remain in care?
I attempted I did go by the house on Saturday. Nobody was home. I honestly, I don't know Cheyenne's position in this. If I had to make a good, solid education, guess, I don't think she wants to return back into care.
Okay, pass the witness, Judge.
All right. Anyone else have further questions for this witness?
Nothing further.
All right. Ms. Cantrell, whoever wrote the report that I read for today's hearing said that Cheyenne was doing better and very happy to be home. So I don't know who wrote that report, but whoever.
I did.
Okay.
I did. But that was prior to some of the incidents that happened. I had written this report prior to going out of office for 2 weeks. And
Okay.
some of these things had happened when I was on leave.
All right. And I don't think I announced this when I called the hearing, but Cheyenne is also with us today. So, all right then, Ms. Wildman, anything further from the department?
No, Your Honor.
All right. Mr. Jackson, do you have any witnesses?
No witnesses, Your Honor.
All right. Ms. Grant, any witnesses?
No witnesses, Your Honor. It is Cheyenne's position that she wants to remain with her mother, is my understanding. And she is present if the court has any questions for her or if she has anything she'd like to tell the judge in breakout room.
All right. And Mr. Jackson, as guardian ad litem for Cheyenne, do you have any recommendations for me?
Well, yes, sir. It's really my recommendation that they would consider putting her back in placement to handle the behavioral issues that are springing up since she's been home. And these were some of the things that they were dealing with before. And so I think it would be in her best interest. I get it from a logistics standpoint of view. If Ms. Stidham is moving to a different region, then it puts this case in a different sphere. But that's what I think would be in the child's best interest, is to be back in placement.
Okay. All right. Well, this is a wrapper case to begin with, and I've never not sent a child home when on a wrapper case the parents asked that the child be returned. I will say this: I disagree with some of the testimony that if whether it be in this region or any other region, I don't think the department can tell a parent, we're not going to provide you any further services. If the child's in any kind of a danger, the department's job is, and their obligation is to remove the child. So whether it be in this region or any region in the state of Texas, if Cheyenne gets out of hand again and she's a threat to herself or to others, then the department better remove her, because that's what their job is. So Cheyenne, you're here. Is there anything you want to tell me today? She's shaking her head no. But Cheyenne, you understood what I just said, don't you?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Just because you're going home and the department says, well, we're not going to take her back if she acts up again, that's not the case. That's the department's job. They don't get a choice. They can't give ultimatums. So don't put yourself in a position to be right back in a CPS case, whether it be in Amarillo or anywhere in the state of Texas. Okay.
Yes, sir.
All right.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Ms. Stidham, Brittany, is there anything you wanted to tell me today?
Sorry. Yes, I was just going to say that while that's accurate, I did put Cheyenne in care because she needed help. I think I'm echoing. She did have behavioral issues that we were aware of prior to her coming home. But there, as I've stated multiple times, there was so much miscommunication between the caseworkers, the placement, the therapist, that the messages and information I was getting from the therapist was absolutely not the same that Erica was getting or Cayenne prior. So when she came home, it was because I needed her home for her safety. We didn't understand what was going on. There was no communication, and it was completely. Cheyenne does still need behavioral help. That is just a fact. We all understand and agree to that, I believe.
Okay.
But we did not understand completely all the behaviors that had happened, because even the school incidents, I don't even know if Erica yet has gotten in touch with the school, because we could never get confirmation from the principals. We could never understand what exactly took place or what didn't. There was just lots of miscommunication. But
Okay, well, you want me to dismiss this case today, is that correct?
yes.
Okay, all right. Then I'm going to grant the department's motion and I will dismiss the case. And just as I said, everybody keep in mind, that doesn't mean that CPS it's not a one-time deal. We've had kids that have been in multiple CPS cases throughout their childhood. So, all right, since we've got a final resolution in this case, there'll be no further hearings set. We will stand in recess. We'll be in recess. Everybody have a good week. Cheyenne, good luck to you.
Thank you.
Good luck, Cheyenne.
Thank you.
Thank you, Cheyenne.